Hey! All right, Diego Agus Falch Stock. Welcome to the Grumpy Bro Show, our monthly endeavor to bring you our favorite news, views, and news. Joining me once again for another round of waxing lyrical are the usual suspects of Measures Stone XB.
Good morning, everybody.
Ferrigan 101.
Hello all, how are we?
And Mr. IB Fancy Dan.
How's she cutting?
And new to the mix, as you probably see, there's an extra little box there in what is sure to be a thrilling edition. Mr. ibLeo.
Hello.
Hello. All right.
Welcome.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello. It's like, do you know, like at the end of Melrose Place, this is going to be one of these things. At the end of Melrose Place, it was also starring Heather Locklear. It'll be also starring ibLeo.
Yeah.
Special guest star, continuous special guest star.
And introducing.
No, that'll be for next week's show. Well, how is everyone? We all keeping good?
Well, in year 5,000 of lockdown, it's not much has changed today. I think the ice, the glacier's gotten a little bit closer. A little bit of trouble. But other than
Just to
that,
spice it up, we sat in the sitting room this morning. Just for a change of pace.
You mad
Very
bastard.
fancy.
look at you with a separate room for your sitting. Huh.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine being confined to like a one bedroom, like not even one bedroom, but like do you remember those old bed sits with just like one room
Oh,
with a piss pot in the corner? Imagine being confined to that for the fucking duration of lockdown. Jesus Christ.
That was the synchron. The toilet.
Huh.
You know that room that everybody kept disappearing to every few hours? That was the toilet.
So, co-living developments. Huh?
Wondered why the tea was
Fragrant.
bit of a this tea has an acidic bite.
I like it.
Anything fresh from anyone at all? Anything?
No,
Anything at all?
I think we're all just keeping on.
keeping on is right. It's,
Yeah.
the moment is wake up, go to work,
Tina.
come home. Don't do anything
So-
else.
I've decided to try this lockdown sober to see how it goes. And my God, there's a lot of hours in a day when you're not drinking. Bloody hell.
I'd love to join you, but we're on a Porterhouse Sundown Session IPA today, lads.
Oh, Temple Brow. Temple Brow.
Is it actually Temple Brow?
No, but it's from
Brow.
Porterhouse. That's where they make
Yeah.
Temple
Yeah.
Brow.
Do love a bit of Temple Brow.
Mm-hmm.
That's been a long time.
Man.
Okay, so right, new fuck it. Let's just go with the announcement first. Coming Q1, I swear to God, is a promise. Average Bro review show. Right, we've set it in stone now. It's happening. It's been done. We're in the process of working up the idea to think about the possibility of perhaps going about recording it.
Like, I suppose
all
where
done.
we're coming from. Yeah.
Ready to go.
But look, I suppose, again, like, we really did take a hard look at what happened to CD Projekt Red and said, look, we can't launch this thing half-baked because
It's
It
true.
just-
It's true. Yeah.
the blowback at this stage of a fledgling startup.
It would have been disastrous.
Yeah.
Disastrous.
It would have been, we probably would have lost all the investments that we've made immediately. So, yeah, no, look, we put it off for a little while to make sure that we had all our T's dotted and I's crossed. So, soon. Promise, soon. Speaking of, going from losing all your money and fledgling investments, anybody buy shares in GameStop, lads?
I did.
Oh, I'm not brave enough for the bank for Wall Street.
Did you?
I did. But ages and ages and ages ago, like, so I got out when it was 20 euros and I thought I made a massive profit.
You're not holding fast. Although, to be fair, you probably, if you turn around and bought them now for a couple of $100, GameStop would give you 67 cents for them. Trading.
Is that
Not bad.
in-store credit or?
Yeah.
That's in-store credit as long as you are a level 3 member.
As long as you have 8,000 carats in your account, yeah.
Yeah. They'll trade you, was it one brand new stock for the 4 old stocks plus €1. Those were the good deals you used to get in the day.
Oh yeah.
I always found Game always had better deals. Or Electronics Boutique.
Is that not GameStop?
Yeah, before
Oh,
GameStop.
yeah.
Yeah, Electronics Boutique when they were around, kicking around back in the day.
Jeez, I remember
Back in the day when you could buy a Sega Mega Drive game off the shelf. Wow.
I had a small lucrative business going one time up in Dublin, just going from between GameStop and all. There's used to be the second-hand game store just off of O'Connell Street, which was downstairs, and just going between all those places trying to find the prices, all the old second-hand games, and then going to the other place that was offering more money for that. Like, if you do that for a few hours a day, you could make like 50-60 euros. It's great.
Sounds like a lot of effort. Like,
Much
But
anymore.
doing
Like.
what you love.
No, you can't do it anymore. That's when they discovered, and then you could start actually trading them in for a brand new game, and you'd sell that on for $60 as well. It's like there was profit to be made by.
There was a thread on boards at one stage where fellas were, I can't remember the exact whether they were going to CX and buying cheap games or going to GameStop and buying cheap games, but they were going to one of the places and then immediately going to the other place and trading them in for like crazy amounts of money extra.
Mhm.
And just repeating that process continuously until they had loads of credit, and then they were buying stuff.
I remember doing that in Cork because CX and Argos are pretty much next door to each other in Blackpool. And I remember going to Argos because they had some games reduced to like £6 or something. Then I bought 4 and I got nearly £100 in it of CX for.
Mad.
Extravision was also another one you go to. Those are the days, You could
Did
make
you
a fair bit.
did anybody see the tweet from Extravision?
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Are they still going?
Yeah, it just said, "Okay, Reddit, do your thing."
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Oh, Extravision, Jesus.
Is there any of them still open? Or
I think they're just like those
Obviously not at the
automated
moment, but-
machines now.
Yeah, I think
We
it
have,
is
like, those-
just automated machines.
They're like the red
They were
box,
bought by HMV at the end of it one day.
Yeah.
who also went under.
yeah,
Well,
many
Golden-
times.
Golden
Mm.
Discs, is it?
Golden Discs are still going strong enough. I don't want to say strong, but there's the one in Cork is doing massive business.
Golden Discs got into all the Tesco's in the country, I think.
Yeah.
They supply all the.
Did you guys
Tesco's,
have
so-
Virgin stores, mega stores over here?
Yes.
did.
Yeah,
Long,
they,
long
they got-
time ago.
they turned into Zavies or something, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
they were. I used to love going to Dublin just for the megastore. You go in, it's like 4 stories of just shopping. Can't afford anything, but there's 4 stories of it. Wow,
Yeah.
those were good days. Commodore 64 days.
That was just off O'Connell Street, wasn't it?
Just across the bridge to the right.
Yeah, it was down on the same side as what's
Where
that
Forbidden
one?
Planet is now.
Yeah, Forbidden Planet. Yeah.
Nowadays they just do vinyl records, don't they? Or at least that's their main stock in
I
trade.
believe so. Yeah.
The whole first floor is all vinyl. I was in there at Christmas. Like downstairs is all DVD box sets, and upstairs is all vinyl.
I remember the time when like you could go into the likes of the Virgin, HMV and those and get DVD box sets for serious good values, but especially the ones that were imported ones. I don't even remember them.
Mm.
So they had all the Region 1 or whatever it is releases, and you could go
Yeah.
in and buy them. They might have cost 10 or 15 quid more, but it was cheaper than getting them sent over from where they were. I had a
There-
lot of US only releases.
There was an HMV
Right.
in Edinburgh that was very good at getting hard to find albums and stuff. I think. Let me think.
Yeah.
now. Probably around 99 or 2000, maybe just a little after, I managed to get a copy of the KLF Chill Out, and it cost me like £30, which at the time was a stupid amount of money for an album. Like,
30 pounds
yeah.
on CD.
Yeah, on CD. Wait, does anybody listen to the KLF? No?
No.
So none of you are interested that they've just released all their old songs or remastered all their old songs into new stuff.
Is it
I'm
on
go-
Spotify?
Funnily enough, it is. Which I thought
You
would
know what?
never happen
I'll
from
take
the
a
KLF.
look.
Isn't there a mad trend towards older stuff now at the minute? I know that everyone it's not a millennial thing, like, because we're all passing that out, like, but like you've got sea
And
shanties.
how?
Sea shanties are making a comeback on TikTok. People are buying vinyl, and then you've got the fucking daddy of them all, the social network beast, the
Bebo.
phenomenon.
Oh, yes.
is back.
Bebo.
This is the second time it's back now because it was
Third. This is the third time it came
was
back
out.
again.
It came back and now it's come back again. So
I'm just sad
Cannot
that all my
Fucking wait.
pictures are gone. I was hoping I could just log in and everything would still be there.
you could get them from the last time they came
I
back.
say
you could get
hoping, I
them.
was dreading it. Like,
To be honest,
Who's going to be in your top 8? Though that's the question. No.
I forgot about that.
you
Jesus.
could, what was it? You could give love or give a heart once a day or something. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus.
Was there prodding and poking and all this crack? Or was that something else? Was it
That
No,
was-
Facebook?
That was Facebook.
poking was a Facebook thing. They fucking done away with
That's
that too.
Tinder. Sorry. Sorry, different app. My bad.
I know we all have rose-colored glasses of it, but I do seem to remember that it was kind of akin to Homer Simpson's webpage. That like literally every sort of shit was collected on one space for it.
Fuck me. If you want to talk about all amounts of shit converged into one place, MySpace. Mother of divine Jesus. You couldn't go onto a MySpace without crawling through text images and borders and fucking music playing, and Jesus Christ, it was hell on earth.
Whatever happened with MySpace now? Like, I know Justin Timberlake bought it and like tried to relaunch it, but I never heard anything about it since.
They sold it again.
I think he was bringing MySpace back, was he?
Oh dear. Oh dear.
They're all just bringing back social media platforms because eventually Donald Trump is going to have to move on to one of them.
It's going to be
That's it.
Trump.
He'll be on Bebo.
My Trump.
He'll make his own one. Watch this space. He's going to make his own political party as well.
That'd be hilarious.
Well, if he gets impeached, then he won't be able to, will he?
Well, he can create a political party. He just can't do anything.
Can't run for anything.
Yeah. He can't run. He can't run for anything at all. Anyway, have you seen the man? For Christ's sake,
You can't even walk down a ramp slowly. Well, fast, I should say.
No, he can't even do it slowly either.
Mm.
Anyway, currently, GameStop stock price is $325.
Mm-hmm. Fair play to him, boy.
now is that GameStop
Okay,
as a
what is-
company
what
as
is
a
the price
whole?
at now?
Yeah.
So that includes like it's just GameStop. Is GameStop Ireland, GameStop UK, GameStop? They're all the one company, are they?
They're all the same one, and
Yeah,
they're.
right.
But when, as far as I'm aware, when it's during the Frankfurt Stock Exchange opening hours, when you're buying it there, you're buying it on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. But then during the American hours, you're buying it on the American Stock Exchange. But I think it's the same, because like if you look at it as a NYSE, so it's the New York Stock Exchange.
Right.
So it's. So yeah, it's mad. Like it's absolutely crazy. It's like the old
$1 billion hedge
over.
fund going out of business.
They what was it? The over sold it by not sold it, but what's the term again? Jesus, my brain.
Shorted.
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 It shorted by 140 something percent. So somebody just came along going, "Hey, look, they've shorted by 140%, and there's only like 40% of the stock available to purchase. So if we buy up that or the majority of it, they'll literally have to pay anything to get it back. It's amazing how greedy they are. Like,
Yeah, and they weren't too happy about it.
mm,
Robin Hood app, which is owned by
Cap-
Capital Investment
Citadel.
or something.
yeah, Citadel have
Citadel, sorry.
Citadel have a lump of them. It's not a majority ownership, but they have a big enough ownership that I'm sure that they slapped their wrist and said, "Don't be doing that now.
Yeah.
Don't be letting the common people make money. That's what we do."
Well, if you're to believe prevailing sentiment, word came down from on high, the very highest level of authority in the United States. To
Wall
say,
Street?
careful now. No, even higher than that, believe it or not. I wouldn't like to say out loud for fear
George.
of
George Clooney.
George Clooney. George Clooney. A cloud of smug came down and told them all to stop doing what they're doing. Careful now. To back that up, the story going around, there was a story on Reddit. Some fella who came out, he was apparently working for the company. The last time I read it, it hadn't been fully verified, but he basically said that word came down from the White House. This had to be stopped. And so to make it sell only and to force make some of the investors force sell their positions. You know, whether there's any truth to it or not, I don't know.
Sounds a bit tinfoil hatty, to be honest.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, because publicly Biden has gone the other direction and said that this is basically how capitalism is supposed to work.
Yeah.
So play on.
The funny thing about it is they all seem to be unified in that Ted Cruz was also calling it out as being bullshit. So they're all...
It's one of the few genuine beliefs he has.
Ted Cruz, moral crusader. This is a fucking really sad ring to that, isn't it?
Because I think just giving him his campaign slogan is going to be moral crusader. Damn it.
Oh,
Damn it, don't give him any more power.
Stop doing their work for them, Dennis.
So yeah, that's GameStop. We probably should have all bought shares. We didn't. We should probably buy Dogecoin. We won't. So yeah.
Sure,
I believe
we won't.
So what is it?
No, someone here totally doesn't have 1,000 Dogecoins.
The Reddit, the subreddit is what Wall Street Bets, and their aim is to hold out for as long as possible, and they reckon that it could hit like over $1,000 to $3,000 a share.
GameStop.
Yeah.
The problem there is, as with all social media, you have no idea which parts of that, the large mass of users are actually just other Wall Street investors trying to manipulate the market.
Meh.
So it's one of those cases where I hope everybody who's invested doesn't lose their shirt, but they might.
Seems Dogecoin has jumped to 0.0779 cent in the last 24 hours or so.
Oh, really? No, I think it was up there. I've got Binance open at the moment. Maybe it jumped up again. Dogecoin.
There you go. Reddit.
$0.034.
Are any of us still holding Ripple?
No.
I've got some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sold all mine for profit, but
yeah. The thing is, I just kind of
which enabled him to buy a brand new beanie hat.
indeed.
She was secondhand, you find out. No, well, yeah, I still got some because I don't know. This is why I'd never be a businessman. I'm kind of looking at it, going, I could make a little bit of profit when I sell it now. Sure, I'll leave it there. It's only a few euros. What's the point? So, and then it's like, if it doesn't take off, it doesn't take off.
Well, no, if you bought at the start when it was down like 4 cents, 10 cents, then you're still in the money because it dropped way back down to 10 cents again over Christmas or just after Christmas. It's back up to 30 cents at the minute. But
yeah, it's being investigated at the moment if it's for some sort of issues, but the preliminary findings look good for them.
Yeah, that's why it dropped. But
yeah, but the preliminary, they had
jumped,
a little bit of a...
It jumped way up to 60 cents just before Christmas.
Is that when you got out?
Oh no, I got out like last year when it was up at 50. I'd bought in at around 10, 15 cents or something. And I got out when it was up, when it reached its high of 50 or something. Unfortunately, not when it reached its high of fucking €1 a coin. But
so I suppose the question is, like, what apps are everybody using now to actually do their stock trading?
I use Binance. That's because it seems to have a little bit of everything on there, and you can stake your coins, which sounds weird. I've only discovered it recently. So basically, if you stake your coins, which allows other people to borrow them, which I think is kind of a form of shorting, they give you a fixed percentage interest for like 30, 60, 90 days. So I just staked 1,000 Tron coins, which isn't a lot of money, and they're going to give me 20% interest. So basically, it'll turn from 1,000 to 1,200 in 90 days. So
the
if you
names
put it
of these cryptocurrencies are ridiculous.
Hmm?
The names of all these cryptocurrencies are ridiculous. Doge coins, Tron coins.
Bitcoin. Who was that?
Well, Bit is okay.
Like, but you know what? The first person who came up with the dollar. Let's call it the dollar. But we're so used to the pound. The dollar sounds so stupid, man. Jesus, pounds.
All right, I'm taken.
I had a little bit of money in Revolut that I was playing around with before, but I cashed out. It was only small, it didn't amount to anything. But I'm just looking at it there now. ZRX and Ripple are the only ones that are up as of right now. Everything else is down.
I've seen Ethereum dropped overnight, but not by much.
Yeah, they hit their all-time high recently, so bound to come down a bit. Yeah, BNB is plus 0.9% at the moment in the last 24 hours. GRT is up 14%. Dogecoin's down 35. Bitcoin's down 10. Ethereum's down 4. There's one. Theta's a good one to keep an eye on actually at the moment. So they're trying to do I think they're the one that's trying to do a streaming service based on Bitcoin. Not Bitcoin, but on a blockchain.
Man, everybody's doing a lot more investing than I thought.
I was just about to say that. I was like, when did we turn into a financial advice channel? Like,
To be perfectly honest, most of my stuff is shares in some of the banks.
Yeah.
That I've had for a significant amount of time.
Yeah, like the majority of my money I have in these is tiny. Like the money in these things is like absolutely tiny, like 30 euros here, 30 euros there. It's just
I think I have a few thousand Call of Duty points, and I think if I go up 2 more levels in the Battle Pass, now I have another 100. So, and that'll transfer over to the next game as well. So
that's it. That goes from season to season. That's worth money. Like
it's
no,
pretty
that's
good. Like,
an investment.
Yeah,
That is a worthy investment.
But if you put in the hours per coin earned, what are we looking at there?
Stress. What's the stress capital on that as well?
there's a lot of rage capital invested in it. What about stress?
Right. So there are a few new games in the offing, lads. I suppose, seeing as though we primarily do play games. Indiana Jones game. What does everyone make of this?
So it's going to be hard to tell. I'm looking forward to it because I used to love all the old ones on the Amiga, like the old point and click adventures and stuff. They're some of my favorite games of all time.
Secret of Atlantis was it? That was the one.
Secret of Atlantis. They had the Last Crusade as well, which is an amazing point and click one. Like if they kind of keep the same sort of tone where it's true to the movies, but also has a kind of very tongue-in-cheek humor about it. You know, I'd look forward to it.
There's
Do
one.
we know what genre it'll be in? Like, is it going to be some sort of Uncharted type game?
It's probably going to be open world.
Yeah, I would say probably Uncharted is probably, or the new Tomb Raider effort, I'd say is probably a good shout out.
That's it. It's like big enough maps and stuff like that where you can go exploring. Like the
there's one free with Games with Gold at the moment. It's an Xbox game. I think I've played it. I can't quite remember it, but I do remember it being like more like the old core Tomb Raider games. It's kind of like that. You have the whip for swinging across gaps and stuff like that.
Yeah, like the most recent Tomb Raiders are really good. Like I actually quite like the reboot one. I've played that a few times. Yeah, they did a good job, I thought.
You just played it to watch Lara Croft die over and over again.
Well, I didn't play it to watch her die over and over again, but I'm that bad at the game that was actually the result. So, and there's like a river section in that where she just oh my god, it's like how many times did she get impaled on a spike or I just don't know if I could take it. I was starting to get PTSD for the poor woman.
Yeah, I'm playing through the last one at the moment there, the Shadow of the Tomb Raider there, and the death scenes are crazy graphic. Like it's like completely at odds with the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's like I'm imagining people who had to fucking design that were just going to have a bit of issues. It's like people, NetherRealm's staff who made Mortal Kombat, they were all starting to get stressed out because they had to look at how to break skeletons and, you know, go into details and stuff like that. And they had to watch these horrible videos to get details on it. And you kind of going, yeah, it's a bit too far now, I'd say.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be a major fan of any of the Tomb Raider games, to be honest. So
I've enjoyed them all. But as you say, I think as you get older, then you transition from like when you're in your teens, like you see a fella fall off a ladder and you go ha, and then in your 20s, like ha, oh, and then now in your 30s and 40s, it's like, oh Jesus, is he all right? He'll be off work for a month.
You start oh Jesus, no, that's the sort of thing you'd be lying on the couch for a while now.
Funnily enough, I won't say what show we were watching, but we were watching a show the other night where one of the things that was happening was a fella was being interrogated and tortured, and they drilled into his thigh, and I was just thinking,
I know this show.
I was like, yeah, no, he's not going back to work anytime soon. That's going to be serious now. The recovery time on that is going to be massive.
Is that the Punisher? They did that in the Punisher.
No,
TV
not the
series.
Punisher.
Oh,
The show.
I thought it was the Punisher. So what you're saying is that they dealt with it realistically, and he didn't proceed to kill everybody in the room.
Yes, he did not. Very much so. But yeah.
Jokes on them. He had COVID, and that blood went everywhere. So ha.
Yeah, I know. We finished series 2 of The Boys there the other day, like, and I actually found myself not enjoying the last 4 episodes because it's like anyone's head can explode at any random time. So it's like anytime the camera lingers just a little bit too long, it's like you're fucking bracing yourself for the head to explode.
I need to go back and finish that actually.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Violence.
It got better towards the end. I thought the second season slacked off a bit, but I'd say from the mid on it picked up.
I liked the first season. I didn't think I would because I really love the graphic novels, but they totally went and took their own thing on it. You know, it's like, but they just like, well, we totally can't show what's in the graphic novels on TV because that's even too far. So let's see what we can do with TV.
Yeah.
So they did a good job, I think.
I
Plus Carl Urban.
watched season 1 first, and then went and read all the graphic novels. I'd never actually read them before, but yeah, I really enjoy the graphic novels.
Yeah.
Highly recommend them.
You can see how Huey was basically meant to be
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg, yeah. It was basically just him.
It was they wrote to him. The writers wrote to him and asked if they could use his likeness.
Mm.
And he obviously
was happy.
And at the time he obviously wasn't as big as he is now. And he said, "Yeah, no bother. That sounds amazing."
And you know, to be honest with you, I'd say it'd still allow people to if it was a good.
Yeah.
If he's
I
like
like
Samuel L. Jackson.
Speaking of Simon Pegg, he was actually really good in the Ghost Hunter TV show on Prime now.
On Prime, yeah. I was gonna say I just watched it with Nick Clegg.
Yeah, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it
is
was so funny.
The ending was totally unexpected. I didn't see that coming. I did not
say no more because I may watch that.
Oh no, I won't say it. I won't spoil it. But my god, it's like from beginning to end. It's like you kind of go, okay, it's kind of a monster of the week thing with a bit of humor, and then you just kind of go, oh, there's actually a big story behind
There's
it
a
all.
massive story arc. Yeah. What was it? Was it Truth Seekers or something?
Truth Seekers. That's it. Yeah, it's like Nick Frost is basically a YouTube. He's a 5G installer, but his part time is a YouTube ghost hunter thing. So basically, it's just done very well. It's so good, and they have Malcolm McDowell in it.
His dad is played by Malcolm McDowell,
and he just knocks it out of the park. Because I love Malcolm, but jeez, he's just so good.
Right.
So have you ever watched the movie?
McDowell plays a sociopath.
Have you ever watched the movie called Gangster Number 1?
Yeah,
I've seen it ages ago.
Yeah, watch it. He plays an aging gangster. It's about his life, but he plays an aging gangster, and it's just brilliant. There's lots of C-bombs in it.
Has McDowell ever not played a psychopath?
Well, yeah.
I'm trying to think of an instance, and I'm coming up short.
I always feel like I'm very cultured when it comes to TV and movies and stuff, but then I talk to you guys, and I'm like, I have missed out on a lot of things. I really need to go backwards.
Yeah, but there's so much of it. Like you can never keep up with all of it. Like
we're I say I'm watching The Stand at the moment, which I think is very good, and we're watching Big Sky, which is very good. And that was a cow in the background, which was very good.
Yes, that's bad. Sorry.
Generally, if there's too much stuff on, and I've read the books or whatever, I'll park watching the TV shows. Like I've read The Stand, so I probably won't watch that.
I was saying that to Boxer as well. The other day, I think you were asking me if I was watching it. I was like, I've read the book. Yeah, I don't know if I'll watch it, but I may go and watch it.
I mean, because Dennis and myself were talking about it there the other night, and he was saying, "Yeah, we've already seen the original. Why would you watch it again?" And I was like, "Because I don't remember the original." So, you know.
And to be honest, they've done a good job with it since the original, because the original kind of goes. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but basically, the original. If you've seen the original, this is spoilers. It's been a long time ago, so it's too late. So they start at the beginning and they just go through. But the way they're presenting it in this TV show is done very differently. But I quite like it, I have to say. I love the book. Like, I'm a big fan of the book, and I think they're being quite loyal to it. But you know,
Was
in
the
their
original?
own- in their way, they're being very
yeah.
loyal to it, insofar as they can go in
Hmm.
this limited run TV series. But I think it's very good. I think there's an especially good call out for the casting. I think in this one.
Oh
I
yeah,
think the cast is
yeah.
great.
Yeah. Jesus, it was Harold. He's very hard to be sympathetic to Harold in the books, or even in the last one. They made him a somewhat sympathetic character in this, or Ali, you can understand where he's coming from, sort of.
Yeah.
Has anyone read the Dark Tower series?
No.
First one,
I started,
loved it.
but couldn't even get through the first one.
Yeah, I'm on the last book now at the moment. Like, but it's actually quite cool how he ties his whole Stephen King verse together.
Into that. Yeah,
It-
I heard.
It's something I would love to get into, but I don't know what it was. Maybe just where I was at when I was trying to read it, but I could not get into it at all.
See, the problem it took me a few times to get through the first book, because one of my favorite authors growing up was called David Gemmell, and he had a gunslinger book series.
Yeah.
And basically, I don't know who came first, so I'm not saying what, but those are the books I read first. I went, it's very similar to that. So I kind of went, oh, okay, fair enough. But then after that, after kind of sitting back for a while and reading the first book again, got into the second one. It's definitely an interesting series so far, but I've only read two, so.
I think it's around 3 it changes tone. The first book is like its completely own thing. It's about Roland the gunslinger chasing the man in black, and there's only vague hints. Not hints. It's like he tells a story and there's just kind of weird things in it for the sake of weird things, but they're not referenced again maybe until book 5.
From the real world sort of thing, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Was there was a movie, wasn't there? And it was set after the books or before the books?
I watched the movie when I was drunk, so I don't really remember it, but like there's no way you could make that into a movie.
My understanding of it was the movie was trash.
Yeah.
I watched it and it was trash. It was terrible. Although it was better than the TV adaptation of Under the Dome. Don't know if any of you watched that.
No, but I read that book. That was a good book.
Yeah, do not watch the TV series.
Is that the one where they don't figure out that they can just
terrible.
dig down a few feet and just try to get out that way?
I can't
The one
even
thing
remember.
The one thing with Stephen King is like he writes a great book up to 95%, and I always feel that the ending or the landing often fails to fucking hit. Like,
It's just
And that's this month's YouTube feud. Perfect. Fuck you,
It's a
Stephen
bit-
King.
I have to throw my hand up here and say that and I was telling one of the lads in work during the week, I have always struggled to read Stephen King. There's something it must be the way he writes, because it doesn't capture me at all. And then the end result is that I think I have only ever read one Stephen King book.
He's one of the most prolific writers out there. It's just, but I understand he's a very different writing style. But it's like, I was this great interview with him ages and ages ago. Somebody asked him how during the 80s and 90s you were like prolific. Your books just it's like sometimes 3-4 books a year you were writing. You go, how did you manage that? Lots of cocaine and no sleep. So it's like, okay.
Yeah,
Or
he
else
has to put out 6 pages a day, no matter what. Even if they're crappy pages, later it has to be 6 pages.
There was a good movie adaptation, because it was the book I actually didn't like, and the movie adaptation I did. It was like Dreamcatcher. It was like
the movie adaptation that was Cat. Yeah.
I actually liked the movie, but I took it and looked at it as a B movie, like a very, very cheap B movie, and I enjoyed it at that level, if you know what I mean. And it's just the book I wasn't a fan of, but I guess when he writes 5,000 books a year or something, it's you're allowed to not like one.
So Stephen King can write 6 pages a day, and G.R.R.M. Martin can't even write a book in like 6 fucking years.
They were actually at a round table together. This is actually how I know that Stephen King writes 6 pages a day. Somebody asked them about the writing process, and Stephen King mentioned that he does 6 pages a day. And George R.R. Martin was incredulous at this, and he was like, "Aren't there some mornings where you just wake up and you're like, no, I should have been a plumber?"
Okay, hell.
Well,
How'd you coming in to plumb your house? That's George R. Martin. Fucking hell.
jeez, if he asks to use the toilet afterwards, you'd need another plumber again. Bloody hell.
The thing
So
about
you can write 6 letters a day.
No.
I don't know. The thing
I think
about
it-
King,
Well, I mean, like with the pandemic, you have to assume that he's somewhere close to finishing now.
There's no
No, I'd never assume with him, like,
there's no chance that book's coming out before he kicks the
bucket, like.
No, that one will. The final one won't.
They'll have to get someone into ghostwriter.
Yeah.
I believe Benioff and Weiss are free at the minute.
Oh, dear God. Dear God.
Have you? Speaking of game, have you ever seen something to fall out of the zeitgeist so hard than Game of Thrones? Nobody is talking about it. Not even to say how much they hated season 8. It's dead. It's dead to everyone. It's mad.
I'd
something that was
go back
so
and watch
good.
it again because there were some epic episodes, like, you know. But
Oh, yeah,
I get what you mean. It literally just dropped after.
Yeah.
after
Yeah,
it
it's just
finished
it's,
up.
it was literally what happens when people get so big and so much free reign that nobody would actually hold them back, and they went, "This is what we want to make," and then they go, people look at it and go, "Oh, actually, maybe we should have had a few more producers holding them back all along." You know,
What happened was they caught up with George's writing, and then they had to make stuff up on their own, just based on his vague notes and outlines, and they weren't up to it.
but no, see, the thing is, they weren't the only writers. They're not the only writers. There's a full writers team in there, so you have to remember. Think there's like 30, 40 writers assisting with the writing. So I can't. The hardest part for me to imagine is the script and all that script with those 2 seasons of scripts with that logic associated with it that was presented to them, and they went, "Yes, this is the best writing we can possibly do."
It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times.
Yeah.
I mean, there is the infamous interview where they were asking him about why didn't they take more precautions when they were crossing the ocean, and the legitimate answer given was, "Oh yeah, Denny and John forgot that what was his name, Euron Greyjoy had a fleet of scorpions."
Yeah.
Just forgot.
That answer turned into a meme.
So much logic.
Yeah, we kind of forgot about that. But anyway, I mean, like, we could probably devote an entire season of shows to talking about Game of Thrones. So let's not get bogged down in that. Instead, let's move on to something which was Marmite to some people, Star Wars, and how, well, there's a new Star Wars game coming.
There's a few new Star Wars games coming.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm. Oh, Ubisoft, and to be honest with you, I'm looking forward to the Ubisoft one because
Yeah.
as much as people give Ubisoft their open worlds, slagging for, and it's quite justified in some places, I've really enjoyed the Division 1 and 2. I'm probably one of the few people that prefer them more than Destiny 1 and 2. So the world, the way that they make the world and the gameplay that they have, if they can just throw lightsabers in there, I'd be really enjoying it, to be honest with you.
And another
Thing-
thing you
thing
can say
about-
about Ubisoft is that I've never heard anybody complaining about their games being buggy either.
Oh wait! Oh, you obviously forgot the beginning of the PlayStation 4 era with Unity, and where skins didn't even load, and people were just walking eyeballs and teeth.
Wait, you've never heard anybody
Okay,
complain
That was
about
the remake.
Ubisoft's
Yeah.
games being buggy? Did you only join Twitter this year?
It's like Breakpoint was one of the buggiest games ever as well. Jesus. Leo.
Okay, point corrected. I stand corrected.
That or you just don't listen to people. That's one or the other. Either way, I'm quite
yeah.
jealous that they're not listening to people. Thing.
I think Division is a great game. Division has seriously good mechanics, both 1 and 2. It's just the numbers, man. the numbers kill me. Trying to
Min
perfect your
max and
build.
everything.
Ah,
Oh,
stop.
yeah.
That's why Destiny to an extent is so much easier in regards that you can just pick a weapon and pick an armor piece that you like.
Well, Destiny 1 was definitely more min-maxing because you had to configure a whole load of things and upgrade all the weapons, and you had to reload for the right perfect weapon, especially and 2 was kind. I haven't obviously.
That's still there in Destiny 2.
Yeah, that's in 2 as well. It's not as bad, but
Division. Like I got back into the Division over Christmas, like, and there's X amount of armor sets, and then like if you wear a full set or 2 pieces of that set or 3 pieces of that set, there's buffs stacking on buffs, and then there's debuffs on them. It's crazy. Like it's next level altogether. Like,
see, I quite like that, but that's because that reminds me of the early days of World of Warcraft. Like if you had the full armor set and stuff, because that actually felt more of an achievement in World of Warcraft, and the Division for me is like, right, I've unlocked the full armor set now. I have that bonus. Whereas
I've done the grind for that. I've got it. And going back to World of Warcraft, you would run a raid once a week in the hope that the armor piece dropped. And then if there was, say you were a tank and there was another 2 tanks in the raid team, then you had to roll in it, and it was...
Oh, those 40-man raids, right? And if there was a 10% chance that your class item would drop, and then if it's a 40-man raid, there's probably going to be 5 of your class there, so then you have a 20% chance of being one of those, depending on your clan. Or if your clan does an honor system, you then have to start betting your honor whatever points you use to get it. So you could run that raid like 10 weeks in a row. The item would drop once and you wouldn't get it. So you'd probably have to run it nearly every week for a year statistically to get it for yourself. It's just...
I can't tell whether I'm sad that I've never played World.
Yeah, I've never played it either. Like, so does each player not have their own individual loot stream? Like, so someone can actually goblin your loot and take it from you? Like, is it if...
Well, see, the thing is, when you're playing, you have your own loot stream, but when you're part of a group, the loot drops for the group.
And then it's randomized as to who gets it.
And it's kind of like, if you think like Destiny, where you're a group of 3, imagine if the item would drop for whatever Warlock. The Warlock would obviously get it. I mean, Destiny doesn't work that way, but imagine if it did. So your Warlock in the group would get it, but imagine if it was now a group of 40 people and an item dropped for a Warlock, and it had to be... And there was divide 40 by 3. That's how many warlocks there would be, and you'd have to kind of discuss amongst you who gets it and stuff like that. There was so much saltiness depending on the guilds. Guilds fall apart because somebody would try and get it. Somebody gave it to others because he or she was dating the guild member, guild owner, and stuff. Oh my god, there's so much drama.
Yeah,
and probably dating them in an RP server, not even in real life.
Oh yeah, that's it. Oh, they never met, like.
And is that still the case, the way that the WoW plays? Is it?
I haven't played them.
I believe so. Yeah.
The raids are nowhere near as big anymore. They kind of toned them down to 10 and 20 men, which it makes sense, but at the same time, kind of lost the wonder of the game. Because can you imagine herding cats? And now imagine those cats having more egos than cats have, and then you need 40 of them to turn up to do something. That's like organizing a raid in World of Warcraft. You think 6 people for Destiny?
We can't even fucking manage that, for fuck's sake. It's a game I played enough of to know that I like playing it, but I don't like endgaming it.
See,
the thing was, once you got to endgame, if you could put in the time and effort to get to endgame, it was great. But maintaining that level, it was just a pain in the hole because it became boring. Like, logging in every day to do daily quests, weekly quests, and then if you had no interest in PvP, then you were missing out on something. Like,
because even in the beginning, they didn't have daily and weekly quests. Like in just vanilla, there was none of that. You logged on to grind the gear to build the potions for the raid.
Yeah.
If you're in PvP, that was almost like another lifetime job just to play that.
Yeah. Well, that was it.
Just to maintain.
It was literally like having a second job because they day 1 of the week, you would have to log in and do some fishing. Day 2 of the week, you would have to log in and grow some freaking herbs, go and pick herbs. Then, day 5, you would have to sit down and do the cooking so that you've got all the potions ready for the raid. It was just stupid, like.
It was, but at the same time, when you had a massive guild, and this is how old it was, when you jumped onto you logged on to a thing called Xfire, which is basically Discord from yesteryear.
We used Ventrilo.
Oh, Ventrilo as well. Yes. But like I used to be the leather worker, so I would make all the dragon scale stuff so literally 4 hours of a day would have been just me making a macro where all the people in my guild would give me all the materials and just macro that, and I just make that item for 4 hours. I'd go off, watch some TV, and I come back, finish making them, send it all off. And
we had one guy who was a absolute financial wizard on the auction house. He would log in and just keep a log of what was selling, what wasn't selling, what price it was selling for, and he, we were never short of gold. We would throw everything at the guild bank, and he would just sell it and make us gold. Yeah, and then we could just buy whatever we needed.
That guy works on Wall Street.
No, I'm not even going to tell you what it is. I'll tell you off stream. But
I see.
Just to circle back to Ubisoft.
A game that Mick has played. Just to circle back to a game that Mick knows, lad.
No, but do we actually think that they're going to do that? That they're going to do a palette swap and make a Star Wars in the Division? Because I don't think they will. I think they'll do like a Guerrilla Studios that did the Killzone games and make.
Well, who's actually doing it? Who's doing it? Is it massive or is it?
It is massive. Yeah,
it is massive.
I don't think it's going to be a palette swap, but I'm just like I'd say even if they just dropped laser, blasters that skinned that as it is, I would be happy to play that game, but I don't think they will palette drop it because they love the games they make. They put so much effort into the worlds they make. Even if they still haven't put Pat Dog into Destiny 2 Division 2 yet. I mean, all those dogs, you're not allowed to pet one of them. What the hell? Seriously, come on, guys.
Funnily enough, I've been on and off the Division subreddit there for the last while, and there seems to be not quite a conspiracy theory, but maybe the idea that there isn't a hunger there to make a third pandemic game. Just that
I don't know why.
People, that the people aren't looking for it. Like that, maybe they'll just park that for a couple of years and return to it again.
Yeah, or kind of do what Destiny 2 did, just like leave it the game as the Division 2, and maybe there'll be an expansion or two, or some live update systems. Because after playing Division 2, I still don't see why it couldn't have been like a major expansion to get to Division 1.
Yeah,
and up to 2. And if you needed to have a separate character for Washington, have a separate character for Washington. It's just, to be honest with you, I just don't know. It's the same thing with Destiny 2. Like, there was no need for them to re-release that. Destiny 2 is a separate game. They still technically use the same engine behind it. They use the same tools for editing the engine. The only thing they did was just find
the exact same assets available to them.
They just used it for a money-making scheme, and they probably had to do it because if Activision wanted money or whatever. I don't know.
I feel like they're in a better place now, Bungie, to make it more like the likes of Warcraft or what have you, where you expand upon what's already there. But then I also feel like they're probably not going to do it. As much as I'd love them to do it, I feel like they won't. Not fully. I like what they'll do is sunset stuff to bring in other stuff continuously, rather than trying to expand upon what's already there. But again, that's for another discussion. I think to circle back around again to Star Wars. You're all right. You're okay. Because I wanted to ask a question. Do we think it will be as a Jedi, or will it be something else?
As a bounty hunter.
I don't know. To be honest with you, there's been no details. There'd be part of me kind of happy if you don't get to play a Jedi, because then nearly everybody will play a Jedi.
Yeah.
But it'd be kind of cool if you could. I would really like it if it was almost like Mass Effect 2 style open world, but where you have to make your crew and you bring your crew members with you. If they don't make it they don't make an MMO, but they make it Mass Effect styley, less stats based. I'd be very happy with that as well. More explore. Sorry, what, Leo?
Knights of the Old Republic, yeah.
Like
kind of
a single player game, like you mean?
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. I'd really appreciate that, to be honest with you, because I mean, was Fallen Order proof that there's a
Hunger.
hunger for single player games out there, you know. So,
Right, who has COVID?
Who's got the corona there?
housemate.
Wear a
dying,
mask.
of, dying of a hangover, he is.
Shuffle on then.
Off the
Wait,
boat.
Obviously, making this game, do EA still have the rights for Star Wars, or what is the situation there? Anyone
Well, they
think?
certainly don't have the exclusive rights anymore.
Yeah, they announced that they're still making game, but they don't have the exclusive rights, which is fair enough. They kind of wasted an opportunity.
Plus, Disney has announced that Lucasfilm Games, is it Lucasfilm Games or LucasArts Games?
Lucas Arts,
LucasArts.
Yeah.
No, Lucasfilm Games.
is it?
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah, they haven't revived the name LucasArts yet.
okay.
They might, maybe. Someday.
Like, there's definitely a hunger for Star Wars games. No, it can be argued that EA dropped the ball at every turn, but Star Wars Battlefront 2 was on the Epic Games Store there last month, and it was downloaded 19 million times.
See, the thing is, the games they made were good. I enjoyed Battlefront 1 and 2. I enjoyed Fallen Order. The only problem with Battlefront 2, the main issue they had was with that massive loot box. The battle, like all your skills were locked behind loot box stuff at launch. So in many ways, you can actually thank EA for, I don't want to say tanking loot boxes, but putting such a large stigma onto loot boxes. They've made such a high-profile game become focused on loot boxes that actually it got legislators actually involved.
Well, you see, they pushed too far. Like they were doing that with FIFA for years, and none of us gave a shit, really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because because it was the casual guy who bought FIFA every year, like, and that was his game, so he didn't mind. Like, but it was. I won't say hardcore gamers or whatever, but it was more people who'd be gaming on a more wide variety. Called foul on that, like.
And the thing
Critical
about
gamers, we shall say.
Grumpy
People who would have
bros.
more variety, as you say. Variety is the spice of life. I actually played a good bit of FIFA. I played a load of FIFA, and I spent
back in the day,
a small bit of money on those loot boxes, building my ultimate team, and then I stopped because what was the fucking point?
but
Because I was going to have to do it all over again in 12 months anyway.
and the thing about FIFA and the loot boxes is that's only tied to one specific part of the game. That's the ultimate team.
Yeah.
Whereas for Battlefront 2, the loot boxes were for multiplayer, and that was it. And there was all multiplayer, so it wasn't like a case of, well, I go play here where everything's unlocked. It's not like I'm making my ultimate team fighter. It was like literally, I'd love to be able to throw grenades, but I haven't found that 5% card yet. So it's like, they made a really good game, and they hamstrung it with a horrible microtransactions.
It's funny what people get used to, because like FIFA is burning both ends. FIFA have the yearly purchase of a full price game, and then you've got all the microtransactions. Call of Duty got rid of the season passes, but now they have microtransactions and you get all the DLC free. So and people seem to be generally accepting of it. That's fine. Like, it's like, what other franchises are running like that? I know you've all the sports games, yeah, fair enough, but there's nothing else really anymore. Like before, back in the day, you had a Guitar Hero, you had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. They were all annual games. And I think there's too many more.
I would actually hate to tell you how much money I've put into Rock Band, buying DLC songs, and a buddy of mine has a far larger catalog than I do.
What I will say is, don't say how much money you spent on those songs, because if the bank hears about it, they might have to relook at your mortgage. Yeah, Assassin's Creed used to be a yearly. They turned it into a yearly game. It was like a yearly. Every year there was an Assassin's Creed. Like Assassin's Creed 1, then 2 years later 2, and then realized how popular it was, and they literally put out 2.1 and 2.2 and 2.3. Was it Brotherhood
and
Revelation?
they're up there somewhere. They're all up there. Brotherhood and the other one.
Yeah. So like the
Revelations? No.
Something. Anyway, it was like they started having Assassin's Creed every year, and then after Unity, they realized, oh wait a second, probably shouldn't be doing this, because it's the same game with just a few extra things in there.
And like the current blowback, and which is a major turn off for me as well, is like Assassin's Creed is now an 80-hour game for a single player game, which is too much. Like,
And from what it is like 20. It's basically a 20-hour game where you spend the other 60 hours doing the exact same thing you did in the first 20 hours over and over again. So it's and it's very.
To prove the point of how games can be too long, how many people here have actually finished Red Dead 2 single player mode at this point?
Fuck that, I haven't even started the fucking thing.
Oh yeah. Powered through that in a weekend. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think he's dying.
I got as far as trundling through some snow, and I was like, nah, this is too slow. I don't have time or patience for this.
No, I did. I stuck through all that, like, but I dedicated myself to doing it, like. But it was worthwhile. It's a great game.
Like, I finished it, but it was a very long game.
That was about 60 hours, I'd say, was it?
I have gone back now to from the beginning on PC play GTA 5 again.
From the beginning.
Yeah. I actually want to get to that the thing you can do with the stock exchange and make major bank. Buy loads of properties.
At this point, they should just actually make a video game of the stock. I think they have a couple of stock exchange video games.
Oh, I'm sure there's a few of them out there. What do you call it? There's definitely a moment in Red Dead Redemption 2 where I discovered I wandered just a random encounter. I came to a hut and a guy invited me inside and he offered me food, and I do think I possibly touched my no-no place afterwards while I passed out. Because you pass out, and the next thing, and I said, "Jesus," I was like, "Okay, my guy's hungry at the moment. He needs to eat. So let's go have the food." And we pass out, and you wake up with no pants on. So you're kind of going, "What happened there?"
Wait.
I went pretty much. Sorry, I'm just coming back into the tail end of this conversation. Was this after a night in Coppers or?
No, that was pre-COVID.
Right.
So no, it's basically Red Dead Redemption 2 where there's a random encounter. I didn't realize it was a random encounter where some guy invites you in for food, and if you eat food at his dinner table, you pass out and you wake up with pants on.
Wait,
this is the fella living with his sister, isn't it?
Yeah, sister.
What?
It's the fella living with his sister, isn't it?
Could be. It's been a while now. It was very sus, to be honest with you. But I said, I'll go through and see what happens here, and I did not expect that to happen.
Oh, I remember that well. Yeah, that is a somewhat random encounter.
And then there's the one with the space alien. There's like a hut where there's an alien that flies over or something.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't think I've encountered that one. I've seen the one with the angel, where
Red Dead 1.
There's a particular house that you actually have to go through an awful lot of rounds to actually break into. Like, you have to climb up onto the roof and sneak in via the window. But if you get into the actual house, there's an entire science lab where some dude is trying to assemble a lot of body parts into one giant angel thing with a pig head and a man's body and
bear pig.
I mean, close enough.
Oh my god, this is where it starts.
That was a stranger mission, wasn't it? He did just kind of you had to climb and turn on the electricity up in the tower or something like
that. There might have been a stranger mission like that, but the one I'm thinking of is like there's like just some town and there's this boarded up house. You can't actually go in through the front door. You have to go up onto the roof and sneak in the window.
Are you sure you were playing a game? Or?
So it's like,
jeez, I hope I was.
Oh, is that the time you met Al Gore? Is there? And he started muttering, "I'll prove them. I'll prove the Man-Bear Pig does exist."
Because I have made it. Right, so we're unsure. Very testy today, aren't we? Jesus, we are unsure. Yeah, have rights or no rights. Well, I'm sure they have rights. Whether they have rights to Star Wars.
They're still making games.
Yeah, they're still making games. We're unsure what games they're making. Speaking of people making and being unsure of what they're making, CES, Razer, and something to suit Mr. Ferrigan 101 there, an RGB mask.
I've got one in pre-order.
You think?
What an RGB mask?
That was not serious, was it?
well,
I mean,
as serious as anything Razer does.
It's Razer, so it could very well be true, but that was surely not serious.
The world's smartest year. Well, it was released on the 1st of April or something, was it? No way.
Come here, lads. I wouldn't put it past them at all.
I wouldn't either.
Razer RGB mask.
I kind of want it.
Was there
Project Razer.
That's as bad as that is. I really wanted it. Look.
was there external speakers on that so that like you could speak softly in the mask and it would project it? Because I'm ready for the Judge Dredd helmet where he addresses the whole block.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm
the
ready
law.
for Bane voice.
Yeah.
That's all I
I am
want.
the
Bane
law.
voice.
What?
Nobody.
Oh, your
nobody
Bane voice.
Nobody cared about me until I put on my Razer RGB mask.
It actually is RGB. You can have whatever color you want. Oh, I love it. It's got three parts. Oh my god, I want it.
But you know, it is weird, like it's a year into this thing to be going into a shop with, say, a hat on and a face mask, like, and literally just your slits of your eyes gone out. Like, it does
Yeah.
feel like you're up to no good. Like,
It's made my bank robbing a lot easier, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
Now you look like everyone else.
yeah, exactly. Who was it? And oh, speaking of Dread, I just rewatched that movie. God, how much I love it from beginning to end. There's not a wasted part in that movie.
Just
My
the Carl Urban one.
Which
now.
one?
God, everyone.
Yeah.
Dread.
They're still trying to turn that into a Netflix series, aren't they?
I don't know. I think they kind of gave up on that. But my God, I can honestly say I think, from my memory right now, I do think it's my favorite comic. To be honest, adaptation. It's just from beginning to end. Every bit of it's just brilliant, and Carl Urban owns it. Absolutely owns it. You going? He is so Dread. He's the guy you imagined when you're reading the comics as a kid. Yeah. Oh, it's so badass.
speaking of Carl Urban, I see he was being touted to take over the Wolverine role there recently.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Was he being told by Ryan Reynolds by any chance?
I'm not sure, but on Ryan Reynolds, then he said that Deadpool 3 was originally going to be a road trip film with himself and Logan, which would have been epic as well.
That would be brilliant. Oh, imagine it. Just like the remake of the movie, the actual movie called Road Trip. You remember that terrible comedy movie? but Ryan Reynolds.
Like, to be honest though, would they not just send Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds on a road trip in their costumes and just record that whole thing, because that would be a great movie.
I love their interactions. It would be a great movie because I
their
just love their
dynamic
interactions on
is so
YouTube.
brilliant.
It's just so funny as I.
It'd be like that thing that Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon did, is it? Kind of,
Or to be like one of those Top Gear specials where they try to go to the pole or something.
I'd watch that actually. Yeah.
That would be it. It's basically Deadpool and Wolverine try to find Superman's palace of isolation. It's like gotta break through the DC somehow.
to get some ice from my aviator gin.
They would break all the walls. So I love it.
Speaking of things that Razer did actually make, though, the Razer RGB lumbar support Isker $500 chair.
Oh, was it
Everybody see that?
$500?
Yeah,
The
for
Razer chair.
Jesus. For a chair, like.
I love Razer's tagline is "For gamers by gamers." It's like not really though. It's for gamers by a big company. Really,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, it actually is an RGB
a
chair.
little bit on the nose there.
I shouldn't want it.
It's $4.99. Fully sculpted lumbar support, multi-layered synthetic leather, and high-density foam cushions.
Oh, it's not RGB. Oh, I don't want it. Like, I got a chair that does that.
Does it not
I
have
have a chair
RGB? No?
also that I'm fairly sure it has
No.
RGB.
I thought it had RGB trim, no?
No, it's just like green trim. That's actual.
Um,
Which
Well,
is
I'm
fair.
very
all interested.
disappointed.
They basically just reskinned our chairs, Fox. And
Yeah.
just,
I watched the Gamers Nexus. Did anybody watch the Gamers Nexus video about chairs?
Gamers Nexus do not like gamer chairs.
No,
At all.
no, not at all. No. And, but they're right though.
But to an extent,
like,
they are.
This chair here cost me what, 60 quid, and I bet you it probably came from the same factory as your Noble chair there.
probably.
Yeah. I specifically bought this one for the weight rating because I'm
You're a fat bastard.
basically I have a big old arse in me. No, I'm what, nearly 6'3", and I'm 100 and I don't know, whatever, 100 105 kilos or whatever it is. something like that. Like, I'm a big dude, and like any chair that I've had up to this, you always find that the gas lift goes and stuff like that. So just bought something with a bit of a weight rating though. It wasn't expensive for that, to be honest. It's comfortable. It still feels like it did the first time I sat in it. You know, there's no, the cushions aren't sinking, or sorry, the cushioning, the foam isn't sinking in or anything like. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, no, that's and it got some fairly heavy use. I will say that.
This segment's
Well, over the last year, right?
Yeah, so I mean, like, I'm confident that it's going to hold up, and I mean, we can do a comparison because Fancy Dan has the exact same chair in a different color trim.
Mm-hmm.
And
So-
how's yours holding up?
Still holding up good, boy.
Yeah.
It was even able to hold me after eating Christmas dinner, which is saying something.
You know, like I did, and like I will say, I did have to get the bottom, the frame, the underneath part, because it had a little bit of a rock to it. I got that changed. They sent me out the parts, fitted, and it's been rock solid since. That's it.
Mine's still rock. I can get those parts.
Well, you won't be able to get them now because they come via DPD, and DPD aren't delivering from the UK to Ireland. So
Yeah, I'm still waiting on a lot of my shit. Excuse my French.
Are they still stopped?
do you know what? Obviously, we deal with importation and stuff in work. So we had a delivery of workwear, etc., gloves, and high vis vests and stuff like that coming through the UK. We've had to turn it away twice or 3 times now because they're looking for extra money for delivering it. Homie does not play that.
Yeah, where I work, I get to chat to a lot of international delivery companies, and they're saying there's fleets of trucks over in the UK just parked up, and they've been parked up for like 2 weeks, 4 weeks, waiting to get the right paperwork to be let through. It's absolutely crazy, and they're full of stuff waiting to be delivered here, but because the companies that they're delivering for haven't filled out the correct paperwork, they won't let them through. They won't let them leave.
It's an awfully lovely taste of freedom they're having at the moment now. Freedom.
Yeah.
If that was reversed now in Ireland, they'd do like the driver's license thing. What they say is, look, all of you go, and we'll sort it out for the next. They just say this
next time. Just next time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Make sure that you've got everything sorted.
I had a friend whose mother got her license that way, and she was the worst driver on the road. And you have my mom's a terrible driver, so you should. This is like even worse than her.
I remember when your mother discovered fifth gear.
That's for bike racers, lad. That's for bike racers. Wait. Okay. You're not slagging her in any other way, right? Right.
No. I love your mother.
I know, and as long as you treat her respectfully afterwards, that's the main thing.
We used to go and play games in like board games and stuff all the time. Like, well, not even just board games, but D&D and F&F and all that stuff in Dennis's house. We used to meet up of a Sunday. And Dennis's mother rather would have many nice little treats for us to eat. Popcorns and Finch's orange. Them were the days, bite.
Pure sugar and carbs, by.
Yeah. Yep.
And the old red lemonade.
My mom was better than that. My mom was better than that.
None of that tripe, no. Red lemonade.
Red lemonade was only given to Canadians when they're a house, like, you had to be nice, not too nice. Hey, Leo.
Speaking of CES, actually, is anybody else think anyway enticing coming out of CES at all?
I paid no attention to it whatsoever.
I forgot that was on.
I looked at some of the new TV tech, and it's meet the new boss, same as the old boss. I mean, I think they've reached the pinnacle now where it's all they're going to be doing is just upping some of the numbers, but the actual panel technology is going to stay the same for the next couple of years until they.
I think the
discover
next
breakthrough.
the next thing that we'll all be wowed by is like see-through TVs, transparent panels. That'll be the next thing, and then that'll trickle down to our phones, and then it'll be like we're all in the Expanse. I just needed to bring that up because I haven't mentioned the Expanse this episode yet.
So good. Oh my god, this season is so good. Oh Jesus.
Have you read the books?
I've gone back to them after you guys mentioned. I must have.
Yeah.
Bad
I was
when
saying this.
first.
I was saying this to Mrs. Ferrigan just yesterday because I was watching the latest episode yesterday. The book this season's based on. When I first picked it up and I read the blurb, I was like, I'm not going to enjoy this book, and it turned out to be probably my favorite book of the series, just because of Amos's character progression.
So good. And Marco Arnaris is a great. He's a great
He
villain,
nails it.
isn't he? Oh, he's just. Oh god, it's so good. I don't want to spoil anything in case anybody hasn't watched.
Yeah.
My god, it's like nearly every episode is better than the last one, and it just started off so good.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll say no more.
Only one more episode to go as well this
Yeah.
season. I just don't know how they're going to wrap it up, or will they?
Without trying to spoil it, the bit I was looking forward to was Naomi's escape,
Mm.
and how they done that in the book. I thought was really good, and I was like, they'll never manage to do that and make it look interesting, but they did.
Oh my god,
it was a lot better than Star Wars. Let me put it that way.
she's one of those characters that I liked but never really was involved in, shall we say. But this season, oh my god, she's gone from being a cool character that was kind of always there to, my god. And when she made a screen out of the visor and the vac suit, you're going, oh, she's so good. Oh man, just such a good show. Best show on TV.
So it's a good show then, yeah?
Best show.
Yeah, you should.
So
you should go
you would recommend it because this is the first time I'm hearing about this from you guys.
Oh, wait till we tell you about it then, Fox. Oh my god, I think we could fill up the next 2 hours in this. Come on.
Somebody text me when you finish talking about the Expanse. I will. No, I swear. Okay, I know I made a deal that I was going to do it over Christmas, but I didn't have time. But I am going to do. I'm going to catch up on it all shortly. When things are finished, when the things that are on now go to their mid-season breaks, I will catch up on the Expanse. There we go.
I don't think COVID's ever going to have a mid-season break. That's a joke.
All right, so yeah, CES was a bit of a bust. Everything has been a bust. Black Friday was a bust. Christmas was a kind of a bust. New Year's was a bust, or Hogmanay to our foreign uncultured cousins.
What are you on about? The bust, man. You got Hero Quest Christmas, but you haven't got it yet.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, where did you send your Hero Quest to? I was thinking about this the other day. A UK address, I'm sure.
I think
As did I.
No, I put it to my house.
Ooh, that's Can you get in touch with them and change the address?
I don't think there was a shipping option to Ireland. There's at the time, I think it was an address pal option. Now it would probably still come to address pal.
No, if it's address pal, it's fine. If it was the other crowd, then
I
you're
don't think it
screwed.
was Border Crowd.
I've done it to
He's done it to where?
Arsenal Motel.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get in touch with them and get that address
You're gonna have
changed.
to,
Yeah, will do. That'll be my order today.
There we go.
Good, thank you, Fox.
I tell ya. Down
Anyway.
there for dancing. Badly dancing. Down there for dancing badly. There we go. No, I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, wait a minute now, where have I sent this? Because obviously this doesn't look like it's going to get rectified anytime shortly. So, yeah.
Well, it might do. To be honest with you, you never know.
Well, it just has to get rectified by August. Then we're okay.
The 11th, isn't it November?
Is it November? I thought it was August. Oh, God.
Oh, it could be August.
We're so far away. I just want to play Hero Quest.
Oh, I know.
Anyway, Moving on. Currently playing, not playing. I'm just going to say it, Mick. Have you finished Control?
Oh, Control is done and dusted in the bag since before Christmas.
Good man. Yes.
Alright. Happy days. Did I ask you this the last time? Did I ask you this in the Christmas show?
Do you know what? It was so long ago I can't remember. I don't think I was finished at Christmas. I kind of put the head down and got through a lot of stuff over Christmas.
Excellent.
Okay. I'm still at, where am I on that game? The last time we spoke, I wasn't. Not soured, but cool a little bit on it. And having completed, I'm still at that cool. Like, it made good on a lot of stuff, but at the same time, there's other stuff it could have done better. Like, there's a lot of stuff in logs and reading and text and stuff that's not told in the story in game, that there's just so much of it. You're constantly tabbing into the menu to read this lore item, and that's where all the best stuff is, in my opinion.
Did it recently come to Game Pass? Am I right?
Yeah.
That?
Yeah.
Ooh. News. There is also Control Ultimate Edition is also on PS Plus next month, and there's a wee bit of a kerfuffle there because a lot of people had bought it as you couldn't get the PS5 enhanced edition unless you paid extra bobs for it, and it wasn't cross-save compatible, so you had to buy the whole new thing. So a lot of people pre-ordered this and pre-downloaded it, and next thing Sony announced that it's coming free with their PS Plus. So people are understandably upset about that, having never played it on PS5 yet.
Right. So are they all going to look for refunds, I guess?
Yeah, there's a bit of noise, but I'd say we've more chance now. We've no chance of getting money off Sony for refunds.
More chance of finding the PS5 in stock probably than getting a refund.
Blood from a stone, like. But I will say, yeah, I agree with you 100% there, Stoney, about all the logs and stuff. I mean, for me, I like that stuff, but I can totally see how it throws people out of the immersion. It's kind of the same issue they had with Quantum Break and TV show. I loved it, but like a lot of the big complaints was it kind of takes you out of the game. Totally makes sense. And Alan Wake was the same. You know, it's kind of very much, that's their way of telling stories. You either kind of, because one of my favorite things from the first Mass Effect was like when you find something, you actually go to the whatever the lore book in the menu, start reading the stuff, and it's just like, because there's so much stuff in the game that's never mentioned in the game, but it's actually written down about how a Mass Effect tries to work and stuff like that. But
well, at least it's in the game, not like Destiny where you have to go to a separate website to look it up and try and piece it all together. Like,
jeez, I forgot about that.
Grimoire
Jesus,
cards.
whoever came up with that, lads, needs a slap badly. That was
The Destiny community were amazing around that, though.
Yeah. The book that was made, that was brilliant.
That's 3 books now.
Yeah.
Because the sad thing is, that lore was really good.
It was amazing. It was so well done.
I would actually love a single-player game set in that universe. You know, during the first time the darkness arrives or something like that. You know? That would be just brilliant. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. I started playing. It's like I'm on a mission at the moment to get value from Game Pass. Like, so I started playing Doom Eternal as well, and that suffers from the same problem. That like you're going places and meeting people, but unless you start tapping into the menu and reading about it, you've no idea what it's all
no
about.
Clue. Yeah.
No. It's a pretty good game. It's a lot harder than the first one.
Well, I'll tell you now what I'm going to play. It's on Steam. It's a game called Telling Lies. It's an FMV game.
Oh yes. They made a really good one. Go ahead.
That's my next. That's the next thing I'm going to get into, because we did. We played like the precursor, no, not precursor, but a game before that, which was similar. It was like old VHS recordings of police interviews and stuff, and you had to figure out what the story was, and that was really good. And myself and Mrs. Fox are actually playing it, so now we're gonna be playing this one and see how we get on.
There was one of those bought to mobile recently. I'm not sure if it's that one, no, but I remember some other websites, Game of the Year chat, mentioned it. It's supposed to be really good as well. It's like that. It's an interview. It's like a police interview where you're looking through police interview tapes. Yeah. Excuse me, and you piece together what happened and who was in the wrong and who was in the right.
Her Story is what it's called. The one that we played already. That
was the first one that they made. Yeah. And there's another one. Oh, there's this really great one on PlayStation 4 where it's this guy, you're a girl who goes to this psychiatric, and there's so many different endings in it. one word. I think it's the name of the name of the person. Free.
There was another one that was that came out on Xbox. It was on Game Pass like last year. Al, do you remember?
Is that the one with Rutger Hauer? Observer or something?
No.
Another great game.
What was it called? There's another FMV one.
Yeah.
Your man was wearing the black suit. He was like a
He looks like Mads Mikkelsen.
Late Shift. Late Shift, is it?
late shift. Yeah.
Late shift.
Yeah.
That's actually a decent game as well.
Yeah, no, that was. I really enjoyed that. That's the kind of I really like those games. They remind me of the X-Files a little bit.
Oh, I was about to say, yes, the X-Files game on the PlayStation 1. I love that.
If I could find a way to play that on PC right now, I would play it again in a heartbeat.
Is it not on GOG?
No, I know it wasn't the last time I looked.
Maybe not. Maybe
Check.
the rights to that.
Now, come here. I'm sure there are ways of doing it by, hypothetically mounting drives and all sorts of things. But
Putting in effort, like.
yeah, I just want to download. I just want to click a button and download something. So
It's literally a case of shut up and take my money sort of.
but that would be a great mobile experience, I think, like that particular game, because there's no, serious amount of movement to it. Just, point and click. Excuse me, just a dose of the COVID there. But yeah, I think that kind of game I really enjoy. So maybe I'll try and find more of that type of stuff.
There is an FMV game that I played on Steam recently. It's called The Shape-Shifting Detective. Basically, you're going around trying to solve a murder. I suppose if I were to tell you too much, it'd be giving away the plot of the game. But there's some really bad acting in the FMVs, and that's part of the appeal of the game, is that the witnesses are just hamming it up by the new.
Nothing wrong with a bit of ham.
I'd highly recommend it for anybody who, like a single evening would kill the game, finish it.
I usually kind of winter start picking up stuff, smaller games that I haven't looked through over Christmas. Like, and I picked up one there. It's just on Game Pass there last week. It's called Donut County. I don't know if anyone's seen that. It's
I've heard of it.
yeah. I'd go in. I won't say go in blind, but just go in and enjoy it. It's about 2 hours. Like, you'll rattle through it in no time. It's quite funny. Basically, you control a hole, and stuff is falling into the hole, and you're swallowing up the whole town. And there's a story from that, but it's very funny.
Is it kind of like Katamari Damacy?
Yes.
The game. Oh yeah. Okay.
Instead of gathering everything up, like, you're feeding the hole. So, like, you can start off, you can collect pebbles and coffee cups and stuff like that. But then as it goes along, then as you feed the hole gets bigger, and you start getting buildings into it and stuff like that, and people. So there's a whole story there.
Interesting. Okay,
yeah, it's good, and there's a thing called a Trashopedia. So after every level, there's like a little index of all the stuff that you sucked into the hole, and it's funny descriptions of whatever went in there, like,
What's that new game that's on? Is it Medium or something that's on?
Yeah, that came out yesterday. I have it downloaded, but I haven't started it yet. It's the first Xbox exclusive for the new console. It's supposed to have ray tracing and all that, so I'll probably check that out over the weekend.
Is that on PC Game Pass as well?
Yeah, it is indeed.
Sweet, excellent. I'll look at that. Did the new Vampire game come out yet? Does anybody know? The Masquerade ones?
No, I think that's summer, isn't it?
Thought it was January. Look forward to that.
So yeah, just while you're clicking through there, another thing I said I'd take a look at as well was Gears Tactics, which is definitely not usually my wheelhouse, which is turn-based strategy game. It actually, if I'd have played that last year, it probably would have been contender for one of my games of the year. It's brilliant. There's a great story to it, and it's really fits in with the Gears universe. Like, so
is it single player only?
It's the Gears of War version of Halo Wars, is it?
It's set after Emergence Day, before the Marcus Phoenix story is where it comes in. Like, so the Locusts have come up with the big creatures like the corpses and stuff like that, and the Brumex, they're in this as bosses, but it's like the first time they've ever been encountered, kind of in this. It's well worth a go.
It's if you ever played XCOM, that's kind of like the tactics. That's how the gameplay plays.
I actually bought
I see.
XCOM Enemy Unknown. It was on sale there during the week for €1.90 for the full collection. So I think I'm ready for more turn-based. It's grand because you can just park it, like, you know, it's not like an RTS where you can't save or whatever. You can just leave it at the end of a turn.
Yeah, it's a very good game. Like I played a little bit of Gears Tactics and agreed. They didn't. When I heard Gears Tactics and XCOM style, I was like going, all right, but they actually do a very good job.
Yeah, it is class, like, because like all the different enemies, like you've got the Cantus that buffs the enemies into the third person's perspective game. Do the same thing here, so they take more damage. Then you've got the boomers who can mortar fire you from beyond. They tied it all in really well. It's class.
Mm.
Yeah,
The one thing I would say
about turn-based games is that you can play them pretty much whenever. You don't have to even be particularly focused on them. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody here was actually playing a turn-based game right now as we speak, and kind of looking between the screen and actually talking.
no.
Well, to be honest with you, depending on how bad your
that's an
graphics
idea
card
for
is
next time.
and frame rate you get, nearly every game could be a turn-based game for you.
Fair point.
Just as an aside, getting back to it, Mick, the vampire game is apparently not out till next
Oh,
December.
Next January 2021 December
31st, 2021.
it hit a bit of developmental hell there last year. Seeming there was a lot of high up people leaving the company. So
Pity.
I'd have
Looking
loved.
forward to that, though.
First one was. I remember playing that.
Like
Unfortunately,
the actual tabletop vampire game, the role-playing game is
it's
fantastic.
basic. Yeah. Because I remember the first one when it was released the same day as Half-Life 2. Activision made them release on the same day as Half-Life 2. So, you know, no, that was the only game anybody was going to buy. Half-Life 2.
Activision, this will probably stay getting kicked down the road because Activision are going to make them release it on the same day as Half-Life 3.
No, it'll be Half-Life Alyx 2 that they'll release it the same day.
Dennis is right. We all know he's right immediately as we heard it.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely correct.
They'll go to 2, all right.
I think our own favorite Activision properties do a big update soon, is it? For Warzone. I think they're
Warzone, yeah.
finally
Which we are
sorting out.
still playing, believe it or not.
Probably more of this year, this season I did last year, to be honest with you.
Sporadically at the moment, actually. But, yeah, we're still playing.
I haven't
think
played
there's-
much of anything at all, really, to be honest. But
Yeah,
wasn't it that
even
funny?
Dennis's housemate is laughing at you there, for fuck's sake. Come on.
Sorry, that. It's it's the game I'm playing most. Jesus, what am I playing? I actually went back to Control and Division 2, so I just love it. I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did, but the refinements to it are really good.
Oh, had you not played Division 2 yet?
No, because I was still playing Division 1 by the time the second one had come out, and I went, I still have all this end game stuff to finish that I'll get to 2.
Oh,
later.
I was going to say, because like you mentioned New York, like you do go back to New York in the expansion, which there's a 60 frame per second update coming for Series X next week. So I actually parked that. I'd done the first 2 missions of it, so I said I'm going to go back to that now when that releases, because it does look a lot better. But yeah, that's a good game, Division 2 to get through.
To be honest with you, yeah, and the story's decent in Washington. I was kind of first worried about how, like, in New York, you just saw all the massive buildings and you got the squares and blocks, shall we say. But in Washington, there's so much open space, and you're kind of going, I'm not sure if I like this, and you realize it adds so much more to the game. There's so much different styles again, much more ways you can approach it. Whereas the other one was just, well, this is the street I'm walking down, and the bad guys are at the end of it.
Yeah. Did you see that they're doing a tie-in with Resident Evil starting next month as well? So they're tie, and it actually, I never thought about it before, but the Division is a perfect zombie game when you think about it. Like you've got the tanky enemies, they'd make sense in terms of them being bullet sponges and stuff like that. You know, the way in Left 4 Dead you've got the witches and the boomers and all that kind of crack or whatever they are. Yeah. That you could actually reskin the game to a zombie game and make a different thing entirely out of it.
To be honest with you, I was surprised there hasn't been the zombie expansion or whatever for it, because it would suit it. Cool though.
I apparently bought Division 2 at some stage over Christmas.
On PC?
Yeah.
It was dirt cheap. It was like I picked it up for €8 for all the expansions. So. And to be honest with you, like the Division 1 still has one of my favorite DLCs for many games ever. It was
Survival.
like Survival.
Yeah.
I was hoping that this one would have it as well, but it doesn't seem to.
Not yet. Maybe they will at some stage.
Because they mentioned
yeah, Warzone is still going with. Is it broken? Is the meta broken? Even more to the point.
I don't
I
think
think
it's
we
ever
don't
been.
play enough.
It's they fix one thing and then something else breaks. You know,
I'm blaming the meta for why I keep dying. That's it. Exactly why.
I don't. Yeah.
So-
I don't think we play enough to be as upset as everyone else seems to be. Like, you know, a lot of people, like, legitimately, I think I've only probably encountered 2 hackers in that, like, and we've all been together for that. Like, now the DMR meta was kind of shitty, alright, but that was
It's
more
not meta as of right now.
the meta. No, I think it's pretty balanced right now.
it feels
Every-
very balanced. Yeah.
Yeah, every streamer seems to be going back to the old guns now and saying that this is the best. So if every gun is the best, they're all balanced.
yeah, if
I
every,
can
everything,
just say
The
using
kilo got nerfed, and everybody seems to be gravitating towards the AMAX. But
I'm actually thinking of
Or-
giving the M4 a go again.
I went back to the Bruin for a couple of games there through the week when we were all on, and it still felt good. But yeah, I'd go back to the M4, give it a bash.
They reckon the new map is going to release in March, based off the Black Ops big team battle maps.
Is it going to be a totally new map, or is it just going to be a change
They're totally
to the current
they're
map?
totally different. Well, it's a totally different map in terms of actual aesthetic and stuff like that. In Black Ops, it's like the Ural Mountains, so it's very different.
I've been enjoying the Rebirth Island stuff.
yeah.
It's mad. It's, you know, you can drop in and be dead within about 2 minutes, or
win.
Yeah,
That
which
just
we have
sounds
done. Which we have done a few times. I just want. To
Yeah,
point
we've
out.
had a couple of decent enough runs, yeah, in that particular mode.
A friend of mine that you guys have played with actually won a quad solo on that. IB.
Jesus.
Yub won the quad solo. He got 1 kill.
Ow.
He literally killed the very last person.
That's
it was
that's
just
good going. That's good going.
on the Rebirth Island. So, but Rebirth, I love
Ultimate
it.
survival there. Jesus.
It's just so hectic. Like. Although I have my new, it's not a serious way to play it, but my new fun found way is also how Yubya plays at the moment. He goes with a crossbow.
Jesus.
It's possibly the most, you very rarely get a kill, but when you do, it's the most rewarding kill you'll ever get. Because the people on the other end are so, what the crossbow? It's all the microphone guys.
Is that a one-shot kill with full armor?
It seems to be.
Ha.
So
Surely not to the body. It would have to be a headshot, no?
I don't know. Every time I've hit with one, killed them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very hard. It drops off so fast. Just it's literally 1 bullet, and then you're reloading for the rest of the game. Because the rest of the game is when you die.
Who's
Anyway.
still playing Cyberpunk?
I was going to say, who's put Cyberpunk in here?
I have stopped playing it. I have stopped playing it, and they released the most recent patch, and I think this sums up. Let me just read out what happens when I try to install the most recent. Updating Cyberpunk 2077. 0% fail. Reason unknown. The game is crashing at updating.
Oh dear. I tell you, I haven't went back to it, and well, one, I haven't had much time, but I think I'm gonna go and start it over on Stadia, and just play it exclusively on that, and see how we get on. Because it seems to be Stadia is still the best platform to play it on. So
Yeah, which is mad. Absolutely crazy. That
I think I'd like to do something similar myself, to be honest.
because
I'm
their
not
most
saying
recent.
I'm not saying that's going to tie into an average pro review show or anything, but it might.
Because what you call it? They released the recent patches we're mentioning, turned the old console's 20 frames into an amazing 25 frames.
Wow. 5 whole extra frames.
Well, when the frames are that low, every bit makes a difference.
That's true.
Whatever will we do with those 5 extra frames?
But isn't cinema 27 frames per second? So they're almost at
Yeah.
that.
Film is 27 frames per second.
I
Anyway.
feel like I've been sitting down too long.
We've been talking an awful lot of shite, that's why.
We have been talking an awful lot of waffle, lads. It's the January blues. They're probably kicking in. Really and truly, though, there hasn't been a whole pile of mad news.
Well,
No.
let's
It's been a bit.
do you want to talk about the first week of 2021 or what?
Sure. Might as well get into it.
Well, just, when the people were trying to reenact the Division 2 themselves.
Little did we know at our year in review show.
I know.
If we just held off another month.
Another 2 days, we would have had more content for that show. Anyway.
And I will say
America.
this. In Division 2, I'm armed with a sniper rifle and a shotgun, and it's almost impossible to get into the Capitol building. But in real life, they just wave you through. God damn it.
Have you got the right hat on? That's
You just, you need to be dressed like a member of the village people for entry. Lads, look, come here.
just to draw
American
to draw a parallel, just very quickly. Did anybody watch Trump's exit speech? His last speech?
No.
No.
Yeah.
I only caught the end of it, and it only just triggered my memory there because you said the village people. He walked off to YMCA.
Young man.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I thought it was. I was watching the news and I thought it was a piss take.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, somebody's just done this as a joke, but no, he
did.
He walked off to YMCA, and I was like, someone in his staff is taking the absolute piss. And fair
It
enough.
must be. Like,
Fair
there's
enough.
no intentional.
Like, yeah, what? Who
It's
chose that song?
He has no understanding of nuance either, so he probably heard the song "Young Man." I am a young man.
Meh.
And I can't spell, so I'm not sure what YMCA is, but I know all the words, so I'm sure I know that word too.
Do you know what has to be said though? Like that since the inauguration, the decline in the amount of Yank news we're getting is actually amazing.
Yeah.
It's mostly good news now.
Yeah, well, it's not
yeah.
car crash news.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I mean, there's so much in these first, the first 4 or 5 things that Joe Biden did was to draw back on a load of bullshit that Trump had enacted, like transgender people in the army and
Yeah.
enact like social housing stuff and things like that.
Not just that, like rejoining the World Health Organization,
Yeah.
The Paris Agreement,
Yeah.
the Paris Climate Agreement. That it was it Ted
Having nice phone calls.
was
with
it
World
Ted
Bank.
Cruz that tweeted about that actually, or was it somebody else?
Ted Cruz.
I mean,
Christ.
that's
Does anybody
just
remember at one stage, just to talk about Ted Cruz, that there was a theory that gained a lot of legs that Ted Cruz was the
Was the Zodiac killer.
Zodiac killer?
Heard this one, yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine. No, I can't believe it. I can't ever see that man doing anything by his own hands. He always has other people to do shit for him. It's
What is if Ted Cruz was the Zodiac killer? He would be telling everybody about it.
yeah.
He wouldn't be able to
Like,
keep
I
that
got
shit to
away
himself.
with
Yeah. The statute of limitations is surely up on the Zodiac killings by now that Ted Cruz could just come out and say, yeah,
There's
was
no
me.
statute of
I did it.
But yeah, maybe. Now, going harping back to something we said at the beginning, but I haven't drank this month. There's a correlation between no Trump in the presidency and me not drinking. Maybe not causation, but
Yeah.
Certainly not making it any harder anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's probably far easier to stomach America when you're sober when Trump isn't in charge. So, go figure.
What do we think of his whole being struck off the social media platforms and like a parlor being shut down and everything else like that?
Right, first of all, the shutdown, I mean, if you're, how do I put this delicately? I watched
If you're breaking their terms of service,
yeah. I watched a video this morning on YouTube just by chance of your man who the Black Klansman thing was, the fellow who wrote the book originally. The movie obviously came from that book. But can you imagine?
oh dear.
Oh, technically,
dear.
Okay.
the NSA are on the line.
Yeah, that's it. It's shut down.
The shutdown
Like-
box. Oh my god.
Fox, you there?
Are
You got censored, bro.
Are you alive?
Oh my god,
you
live
got censored.
on the internet.
Wow.
If the NSA are listening, please don't go into that special folder on my desktop.
There was a quote in Gears Tactics that made me laugh out loud, and it applies to this. Like it says, like, and you know the way Gears is, no the way there's no punches pulled with finesse and how to deliver stuff. It says if you're dealing with nothing but assholes, sometimes you just got to shut down the asshole factory. That's seems to be the thing here.
So anyway, to say, can you imagine in this day and age, like the Ku Klux Klan used to advertise in the newspaper and stuff like that. So imagine if they obviously transferred on to advertising on social media, that would be shut down, really and truly, as hard as you can possibly go. Why is it any different to shut down, all the right-wing propaganda that was on, the various social media or social network platforms? Like, what's the big deal? What's the big whoop?
And it made them money.
There was a great flow chart where it was like a box, like, is my free speech being violated? Then the next step, is the government doing it? Yes, your free speech is being impeded. No, your free speech is not. You're probably just being an asshole.
Stop.
Did anybody see what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene, the congresswoman.
Oh, there's a deep cut. Yeah, I heard about this with the Jewish space lasers.
Jewish space
Oh
lasers.
my god.
Jewish space lasers. 9/11 was an inside job. All those
Democrats should be killed.
all those school shootings were false flags. They didn't actually happen. He is a nut job. She's an absolute nut job.
Yeah.
I think she might have played Wolfenstein too, just with the advanced Jewish tech that they have.
Yeah.
It's an amazing documentary. I knew it. I knew it all along.
What was her theory? That they were using their space lasers to cause wildfires because
That was it. Yeah, the Jews used their space lasers to start the wildfires last year. Yeah.
like
Is Mick all right there? He's after leaving about 5 times.
probably not that in trouble for money. You don't really need.
Turn on his space laser. He forgot his laser. He's got a fire's fire to start.
I've left the space laser on. Jesus Christ!
It was meant to be just one part fire. Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The sun's gone, lads. Sorry.
But yeah,
Dear, oh dear.
yeah. She's not right in the head. And
Fish.
uh,
Oh man. Yeah, well, by and large, she's not right in her head, but she was voted in
yeah, exactly.
on that platform. So she won the majority of the votes in her wherever her area is.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to refer to CNN to figure that one out. Big map.
Big map again.
Yeah,
Back
I
to the
mean,
big map.
an article just last night about this, and the writer was pointing out that the most extreme elements of the Democratic Party just have some theories on, like, we should socialize a couple of aspects of government, and have universal health care, whereas the most extreme elements of the Republican Party are literally insane and think that there are Jewish space lasers.
Yeah, basically.
Oh.
Oh man.
Insane. But yeah,
I mean, if the laser was the laser was invented during after World War II. That's when they got the really good Jewish scientists in from Germany.
True, it's
I-
true.
They got the
There we
Germans.
go. Oh my God, she's right. Oh, it makes sense.
Maybe that. I think Mick just went to get some tinfoil to make a hat, actually. But,
Oh my God, Einstein's still alive and he's in a computer.
You can see you scratching your head there, Al. Is the tinfoil under your hat making your
It
head
is,
warm?
yeah. It's stopping the space lasers. The one thing I really enjoyed from the inauguration has been the Bernie memes.
Oh, dude, awesome. My favorite one has got to be the one with my neighbor Totoro. They photoshopped him into this, like, you know, they're waiting at the train stop and it's like Totoro, the big thing is in the rain. He's just sitting there. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, some of them were really well done. Like, but
To think they could have had him as president. Don't get me wrong,
yeah,
Biden's better than Trump, but
the thing is, he's too much of a commie for
Yeah.
most of America. Like, you know,
Yep.
he would
much of
do
what?
he would do really well
Communist.
over in Europe.
Commie. I thought you said collie. I was like, I don't know. Sure. He's a shepherd. Damn it. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like,
He's too far to the left, really, for America to be comfortable with.
well, he was doing very, very well, and they were doing everything in their power to kind of, the Democratic Party were doing everything in their power to kind of make his wins look less. And then Obama just came out of nowhere and said, I think we should all support Biden, and everybody got in. And you know, there's a whole load of backroom handshakes. It's like, you guys get on the cabinets and whatnot, and you're going to be the vice president and whatnot, as long as you all back Biden. So it's like nearly all the Democratic Party then just goes whoop to Biden. But anyway, that's last year's stuff.
True.
Mick, did you manage to turn off the space laser this time, or?
Space laser? No, I've a rogue child still in the house.
Important question, Naomi. Is it your child?
I just had to go and reset the traps.
That's it. It's like, while child fears. Did you get those things in Lidl, was it? There, Mick. Not the traps, or Aldi, that can.
I did indeed,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're actually not bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's my first time. I don't usually go to Lidl. So I saw them at the till the other day when I was there, and I picked up a couple.
Are
Yeah.
I have a couple of them outside in the counter that I've been holding over until I'm desperately stuck. Are they alright?
Yeah, that's raspberry. No, it's not too bad. The pineapple one was very nice.
Mm.
I got the two.
Have a look.
They're a lot better. I don't want to say they're good energy. But they're a lot better for you than like regular old Red Bull or whatever. So
Well, I think it's more caffeine than anything else because it's only 4 calories per 100 ml.
yeah.
Oh, all the caffeine.
Yep.
How is lockdown 97 treating everyone this time around?
Well, there's an awful lot more entertaining shit going on during this week.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the TV has been replaced by GME stock. So this has been. I don't think I've refreshed a web page as much as yesterday watching that stock price.
Pornhub a close second, I imagine.
Oh no, you never refresh that fast because that cuts out the video.
Dual monitors.
Yeah, exactly.
See,
Things rising on both screens.
Stoney, there you go. The man knows
Have
that.
you the camera pointed at yourself, or
That's well, I could do. I got to make a bit of money, you know. There's a lot of money in this webcam business.
and speaking of
OnlyFans /IB Fancy Dan. Was that it? Or-
Well, I can't go OnlyFans because I have no fans. That'd be a very long page. I'm really hoping this thing takes off.
I think, are we going to come out of it in March? Let's genuinely, all joking aside, what do you think?
I think we're.
March.
I think
don't see
we
why-
may
No.
drop down a level, but we're
Oh yeah, no,
we're
definitely
in
not.
for the long haul. Like,
We've got another year of it ahead of us, lad, to be honest with you.
But if
So-
it drop down a level, I'll be happy with that.
Because just to give you the spiel on it, I'm in the high risk category because of for me to get a vaccine, earliest is April, most likely September. That's the range they're giving.
I done the calculator the other day, and I done it a few weeks ago when we first started talking about vaccines and whatnot, and it was giving me a date of July. I then done it the other day after the whole vaccine debacle with the UK, and I've been now pushed out to December.
Wow. So like we got at least a year.
Yeah.
At least.
I know people that are like scheduled for the, like 20.
Speaking of at least a year, I guess Mrs. Foxer and myself were due to get married, as you all know, in July of this year.
By the time she made an honest man out of you.
We've pushed that back all the way to May of next year. No.
This is an open invite to everybody in the audience. You can come along to the afters. Yeah, it's the right thing to do, buddy. I mean, what you could do is just have like a civil ceremony this year and then have the party next year with everybody over.
What we could do is just have a big party next year.
That's what I said, yeah.
You know, do it all. But anyway, look, that's the thing. It's just this whole COVID business is really, it's affecting everything. Really, there's nothing to escape from it.
I think, yeah.
Go on.
I think we're in the worst of it now. I think this is where the real damage is going to be done.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Because our particular sector is supposed to shut down completely, isn't it?
Yeah, sure it is. Like, but it is, and to be fair, it does seem to be general adherence. I know people are saying like people are doing stuff and all like, but there's. I think the numbers we're at now, I can't see us going below 500 cases a day, because I think the civil disobedience that's out there, and the fucking, as that increases, you're going to have a certain level of community infection, I suppose you want to call it. And I think I can't see the pubs opening in June. And that's if we had a continued downward trajectory. Like, but like we had one day last week where it dipped below 1,000, it's back up to 1,500 now again. Mm-hmm. So that was obviously just an anomaly. Like, so it doesn't seem to be going down.
No.
It's the. I'm assuming that it's this London variant or UK variant or whatever they're calling it.
Well, we got
more transmissible, like, you know.
We got the UK variant here, and we also have the South African variant.
Yeah.
So and that's more vicious, but not as infectious. So I don't see it going away at all. To be honest with you.
But see, the thing is,
I've certainly seen an uptick of people I know or work with coming down with it.
There's loads of people. I think before it was kind of anecdotal. We all knew someone who knew someone who had it. Like, but now it's like family members are maybe one person removed from us.
Yeah.
No one here has got it yet, have they?
Touch wood, not yet.
The thing is, some of us might not even know, because I know I had a severe bad flu in February, but I don't know, was it COVID, was it not? Testing for it didn't happen for a long time after. So
I had an antibody test done just at the end of last year, and it came back negative to say I'd never had it. But who's to say? Apparently the antibodies only stay present for about 6 months after, so
yeah, it's a lot of
have it at the start of last year.
See, the big problem between this lockdown and lockdown 1, like, and was I saying to ourselves last night, like, is like, I remember when we went into lockdown 1 just before Paddy's Day the last time, like we were actually afraid at home, because like this thing was like, it was like a world war, you know, the Germans are coming, the Germans are at the border, like people are going to fucking die, like, and then we all sat at home, we all got through it and all that. No, we know more about it, like, and how you avoid it and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of drifted to like a threat to a major inconvenience in the terms of most people's radars.
That's
like,
exactly it, yeah.
It's just a case that people don't give a flying fuck as well. Some people just still come into the shop without a mask on, like now.
I think that's very that is rare enough, to be fair though. I don't think I've ever seen anyone without a mask. Like,
come down, spend the week with me, like.
Yeah.
Come up to the north side, buddy. Come up to the north side. Even the shopkeepers are all wearing it, the chin warmers, so they don't cover their mouth or their noses a lot of the time. And the amount of kids that will come in without masks on, there was like 7 kids just walked in without masks, and nothing was said to them.
They're just wearing their collars really high.
I said the socks pulled up very, very high.
Once they're outside the tracks, depends on it. Keep the rats from running up the legs. To be grand.
So yeah, to be honest, I just don't understand people. But then I guess that's it. There's no follow on to that. I just don't understand people.
Change the subject. This is it.
Yeah. So dogs, do we understand dogs? I love dogs. They're great.
Dogs and puppies.
That's it. I think if we're in for another year, but I'll probably be moving back to this stage.
Back to Tip. Back to a place that isn't
That
where
you're
you
a long,
are now.
long way from, is it?
Mhm. Yep. Basically, because I'm paying what? A ridiculous amount of money for a room. You
How
know?
much?
€650 a month for a room.
400.
For your
Room
I know.
upstairs.
Marriage. I know. I was looking onto houses down.
No. 400. I have a room upstairs. 400.
Oh, right. No, that's grand. No, you have to take my shoes off your house. So,
This
Nobody-
is true.
nobody tells me to take off my shoes other than my mom.
Nobody puts IB Fancy Dan in the corner with shoes off. I saw, which I was going to say earlier, and I saw a projection somebody did during the week. Publican did a poll and between other publicans, and none of them think that it's going to be open before the August bank holiday weekend.
Oh,
Wouldn't be surprised.
I think we won't be back in the pubs till next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think next Christmas maybe. If
Yeah.
more of these vaccines get the green light to go, like there was
Yeah.
Johnson & Johnson have won at 70% efficiency
Yeah.
or something like that. So if they all start coming on stream, and there's more sources coming in, maybe Christmas next year.
To be honest,
If it gets as far as that, how many pubs will there be left to go to?
and
That's
saying
it.
that, even if there was a pub that could open, should they open? Because they'll be going, well, the last time we opened for it, we spent a fortune getting everything ready for the
Yeah.
thing, and then you close us down 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm not going to open. I'm going to wait for a month and see what happens.
If
So you know,
if it came down to it, would you be open to like a vaccine passport? If you get the vaccine, you get a little
Yeah.
card saying I have the vaccine. I'm good to walk around in.
But
Well-
I'd say that would be the case.
If
but see, the problem with the vaccine passport is also the fact that they haven't proven yet that if you have the vaccine, you can't. They've proven that you
Yeah.
can't catch it if you had the vaccine, but you haven't proven yet that you can.
yeah,
Transmit. Yeah.
The way
That's-
I'm looking at it is like it's a coronavirus, so it's like a cold or a flu. You may well get another variant of it again. Like
Yeah.
this may be the way forward for the
Yeah.
immediate future that we get vaccinated every year, like we do for the flu. You know?
Until you get a permanent vaccine that knows how to fight all corona.
Yeah.
so basically we don't. We might be stuck in this kind of mode until they cure the flu permanent.
We could well be. Yeah.
I think Fancy Dan already said it. I'd be of a similar opinion. I don't think it's ever going to go away. I think we're going to be stuck with it for at least a very, very long time in some capacity.
The only way it could possibly go away is if you followed the New Zealand model of you lock down everything, don't let anybody into your country for 2 whole weeks, don't let anybody go anywhere else for months, whatever.
It would have to be-
Literally
yeah.
force it to happen. You have to
Yeah.
force it. You can't trust people because people are. So that's the only way you can do it. You force everybody to stay at home, make sure there's money and everything, the food and stuff can get to people and so on. In the world, if the entire world came together right now, right, we're locking down for a full month. Nobody's going anywhere. Nobody's doing anything. Food will be brought to you. Everything's going to be done at this level. In a month, it'll be gone because it can't spread. If it can't spread, it's got no more bodies to, and then it dies.
Yeah. It dies out. Yeah.
That's literally the only way it can happen. It's not like it's hiding in the air, waiting for you to come out. It's hiding in other people, and that's it. So if you can cut it down, you'll stop that for a full month. But it involves everybody in the world agreeing.
And
Yeah.
they won't.
And we got 5 people here, and we all agree about different things. So good luck with that. So that's
Well,
it.
you have you'll always have a certain percentage of the country who will just point blank refuse to follow regulations no matter what.
And that's why it has to be forced.
Can you even force people? You'll be infringing on their civil liberties by enforcing them.
Well, that's why
If you do it for a month, you'd survive. Like any government that does it for a month and says, "Hey, it's all sorted now," they'd survive. They wouldn't get.
I'd happily do it. I'd do it in a heartbeat. If turned around in the morning and they said, right, the whole country is shutting down. Don't leave your fucking house. Stay where you are. Stop the spread completely. I'd be like, okay.
You put martial law in. Anybody who's seen outside, I would say shot because I feel that way about some people. But anybody who's brought out is forced back inside. That's it. It's just, I mean, once again, look at New Zealand. Their day-to-day is normal. They don't have to wear masks, go to shops, go to cinemas. Everything they do is back to normal. And that's basically what they did. Anybody who's coming into the country, you have to book a slot of 2 weeks, and you don't go, you don't go to, as the Irish goes, oh, sure, you're totally going to isolate, aren't you? Oh, yeah, I'll totally isolate. Don't you worry, I'll isolate. I won't see anybody for 2 weeks. They force you to stay in a hotel for 2 weeks. They test you all the way through it. Once you come out after 2 weeks, you get through, but you book the slot. For example, there's a MMA fighter called Dan Hooker. He's from New Zealand. He went to compete in Abu Dhabi. That fight was last weekend. The earliest appointment he could book in was a month from then, so he's not going to be able to get back into the country till end of February, and then he has to spend 2 weeks in quarantine. But once he spent 2 weeks in quarantine, he's going to come out. He won't have it. He'll go back to normal. I mean, you literally have a use case scenario, or a proof that it worked for a country there.
Well, I guess it's all world governments need to come together, probably under the umbrella of the World Health Organization, and agree. And just that's never going to happen, because you're going to have a certain element who will be like, no, you can't force us to do.
Yeah, it's not even just the people; it's going to be the market.
Shared policy, like Ireland and the UK, if they clubbed together and just agreed on one single policy, like what Dennis was describing, sorted. Only 2 countries cooperating, that would be all that was needed. But no, it's not happening.
Sure, why would Brits cooperate with anyone?
We'll only cooperate when they apologise for the famine. That's it. Still waiting for the sorry. Still waiting for it.
For they stole Trevelyan's corn. Anyway, moving on from crappy lockdown 97 to Disney Plus and all things associated with Disney, because let's try and finish on a more somber thought.
Can we talk about The Mandalorian?
Why not?
Everybody seen it?
Yep.
No.
Fantastic show.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
all
is.
No, I loved it.
Dennis!
No, I loved it. I thought it was much better than the first season, to be honest with you.
It was.
At what point in the final episode did you jump up and down in your chair? For me, it was green lightsaber.
For me, it was the single X-wing, because just kind of picked it from there, and I was like holding the thing, and I was like, no way.
Oh, I was the same. Like at single X-wing, I was kind of like, they wouldn't, they couldn't, they haven't. But
They did.
a green lightsaber, it was yes, they did.
I was like, green lightsaber. It was the glove and the green lightsaber. I was like, oh my god, no way. And then he came on and he went, oh god, I love you, Filoni. I love you, Favreau. I just really hope they totally retcon the last 3 movies and just go, yeah, they didn't happen. They're an alternative universe. We're going with another one.
They did retcon the
funnily enough,
retcon the sequel.
a cohort of the channel, another grumpy bro, Mr. Swamp Donkey, has a theory on this, and I think we will leave it to another.
I think I know
another show. I think we'll get him on. We'll do a recording, a voice recording. Get him on to discuss this theory in detail, because it's very interesting. But it has to do with the Sith League, or whatever the hell the thing was called. The Sith
Knights of Ren?
No, what was it? The Sith in Infinite, or Sith? Oh, them Sith that were around.
I'm not familiar with this theory, so I thought you were talking
about the movie. Sith Eternal. That's it. The Sith Eternal. It
So
has
do we
to do
think?
with Eternal.
Do we think that Grogu's ultimate fate is to die in Skellig Mickle?
Oh, who knows?
He
Well,
he brought him back to the milk farm. Poor Grogu.
Luke's academy wasn't on Skellig Michael. It was
All right.
somewhere else. He went to Skellig Michael eventually afterwards because he was so distraught. But yeah, I'm not sure Grogu. Well, we'll see. I don't know.
No, I just really hope the I know it's, but those last 3 movies, I loved. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed parts of them. Jedi had some of the most beautiful shots in the movie in a long time.
As a whole, though, as a story,
Yeah,
it's
just been no coherent story from the beginning.
I do somewhat with the Mandalorian. Like I do kind of somewhat fall into the camp that it is a pity that they had to tie it to the films, in that like they had to tie it to the Skywalkers, in that they're in everything. You know, everything that ever for a universe. Jesus, we sure do bump into Luke and the lads a lot.
See, that's what I really liked about the second of the most Jedi. Is that the last Jedi?
The
Sorry.
last.
So I always forget the name of these ones. It's the fact that they went, it's not actually about Skywalker. You know, she's not a Skywalker. All those things. It's like anybody can have the Force. It's like that was good. And then I went, no, people were so angry. I was like, and then they tried to hedge bets, and they released the third movie and nobody.
Yeah. She's actually tied to this fella that Luke ran into an awful lot. Used to work with him. You know, so.
Yeah. Jeez, are you related to the Skywalkers down the road? It's not them there now, you know, the mixed Skywalkers. Tommy down the road.
She adopted the name at the end as well, didn't she?
What?
Just really, she adopted the Skywalker name at the end, didn't she?
Well, I mean, she was trained by both Luke and Leia, so I mean, like, those are probably them and Han were probably the closest things she had to actual parents.
Who's this now?
Ray.
Ray?
Ray.
She adopted the Skywalker name at the end of the movie.
I think she just fucking stole it, to be honest with you. You know?
Too.
I think they should just thrown it out of left field, and when she was the daughter of Darth Maul. And then it's like, fuck, I'm just going on.
I guarantee you what's going to happen is they're going to do a whole bunch of TV series set in between the movies like they did with Clone Wars. And lots of people forget that fans absolutely hated the prequels at first as well, until they made all these different television shows, tie-ins and stuff. And then fans started to like it a bit.
I don't think the hatred was as bad. I think because it was still Star Wars. I don't think the hatred was anywhere. It just these last 3 movies, they were set, they had Star Wars clothes and outfits and stuff, but they didn't have the spirit of Star Wars. While the first 3, no matter how badly directed or written you can call them, they were Star Wars.
The thing about it is, like, for the Phantom Menace especially, that was the first Star Wars movie that a lot of the fans who'd be of a similar age to ourselves would have been able to go and see in a cinema on release.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the Clone Wars, or Attack of the Clones rather, and the Revenge of the Sith, the same. It follows through for them, but a little bit of Star Wars fatigue may have set in after, Episode 7 was basically A New Hope. The only one that went outside the wire was The Last Jedi, which I still think is the best of them, and I will continue to think that. And you then had JJ coming along and basically, as Dennis rightly said, hedging all the bets and coming up with, 2 and 2 equals fish.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Yes. In Fortnite, of all things.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
That movie is so bad that I haven't even actually finished. And as a massive Star Wars fan, that's something. I have not actually finished the last.
Huh. For completionist sake, you probably should, but I'm not going to force you to do anything.
Well, I probably should but I just got to the stage where I was like, I literally went fuck off at the TV and just turned it off.
Like when the movie opens saying, hey, that bad guy that we killed off several movies ago, he's back for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
It just sets the tone for the whole movie.
Anyway, we're not going to fix Star Wars here, but what we can fix is, well, not fix anything, but we can decide for ourselves if there is value in Disney Plus. Is there value in Disney Plus?
Are we all still on the €60 for the year buy-in originally? Yeah, that's up next month, is it? Is it March?
March
thanks,
for
folks.
me, I think. Yeah, March for me, I think.
But for me, it's been amazing value because I got a month for free, and I'm not going to get it again. But for free, it's amazing. But it's trying to get false value out of it by forcing everything in one episode a week. So it's like turning a 10 episode show into a 2.5. Now they can it's creative vision or whatever. But if your show is meant to be watched one episode by one episode, release them all at the same time and let choose. You know, I'm not a fan of the way that the expense is being released on Amazon, but that was when it was on TV, was actually a TV show as well. So I give that a little bit of leeway. Also, it's best show ever, and I think we should talk more about the expense right now. But
absolutely,
Disney Plus, I don't see the value right yet.
I agree. For streaming platforms, especially, I don't think a weekly release is the correct way to go. I think there should be enough content in the background to release something immediately, let the fans watch it, however, at whatever pace they want to do it. And if they want to hang on to it, let them hang on to the particular platform. If they don't, they can unsub, whatever it makes. At the end of the day, they're going to have enough continuous subs. They're going to have enough people that, like myself now, who would look at it and would say, 60 quid for the year. It's,
But I don't think we're going to get a chance to go for 60 again for a year, we?
Oh
No,
yeah,
it's going to be 70 quid now. I think 69.99. But even at that, it's a small amount of money. I mean, what does Netflix cost for a year?
Yeah,
it depends what you go for, but you go for the family plan. Yeah, you go for the family plan. It's 18 quid a month. Like,
but if you're somebody who wants the best visuals, even if you're on your own, you're going to go for the family
plan. Netflix. 4K. If you want HDR. 4K with Netflix, you have to take the family plan.
Yeah.
And you don't get 4K with Netflix. They say they give you 4K, but you don't get anywhere near 4K. And they've cut that back twice during COVID. So if you're paying for 4K, but you're getting maybe 2K, 2 and a bit K.
Yeah.
So it's
what's on the Stars network that's what we're watching?
Fuck all.
Really? So it's not a value add, really. So
what's Stars?
Anything that you can get on, as of right now, anything that you can get on the Stars network, you can acquire on Hulu. And Hulu you can acquire through ways and means for about €35 for 12 months.
But,
and Hulu is...
Remind me about the Stars network. Can you get that over here without ways and means?
Not yet, but you will be able to shortly. Yeah. And that, because I know we were talking about it there one day, that's what I think. Instead of globalizing Hulu, they're going to just release this extra part, the Stars thing, and that's going to be their Hulu for international markets. And then I'll be faced into a choice of, do I keep Hulu or do I get this? Not that I have Hulu, I'm familiar with it, but I don't in any way, shape, or means have it.
But if you did, you'd be put into that form of having to choose, but you don't. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. So, and it's not like I have CBS either. Like, that would be ridiculous. How would I do that?
No.
The Christian Broadcasting Service.
Yes, Christian Broadcasting Service.
Christian Brothers.
CBS. CBS actually is phenomenal.
That's a very different show.
CBS is like $3.50 a month, roughly, and it's phenomenal value. But again, they're doing this thing with the Stand where they're releasing it weekly. But by the same token, and that's the difference. CBS obviously is going to change to Paramount Plus in March, and Paramount own a bunch of stuff like Viacom and different channels and whatnot. But most of the stuff that's on it has been released on cable or satellite or whichever way you particularly say. I don't understand, just as an aside, how television works in America.
Is this why sea shanties have become a thing? Because we're all dusting off our pirate hats again.
I believe so. Yeah.
But life for me.
I don't understand how
entertainment that predates copyright.
So there you go.
Magnet turns and Neverile seed. Oh, here we go.
I don't understand how television works. So here we have Sky, right? Or Virgin, depending on where you are located, whether you're in a city or whether you're out in the sticks. But you can, on Sky, acquire every channel. But if you take in cable television in America, that's a certain amount. But then if you take in the other type of one, it's a certain amount, but depending on the area, you might be getting the same service, but it's a different amount of channels that you're allowed to have, and it's all fucking crazy. I don't get it. But CBS own a bunch of channels, and they release, obviously everything is weekly because that's how television does it. And so if you want to watch a show on CBS All Access, it's a weekly thing. That I can understand. But this is going back around to Disney Plus. I promise I have a point. You're watching it on that because not only has it been released on the streaming platform, but it's been released on the actual television channel.
The Disney Channel, you mean, is it?
No, the whatever channel it's on, whatever it airs on in America, CBS or Paramount or whatever it's called, and it also airs on the CBS Access, which is the app, the streaming app. But Disney Plus don't, like, they're not releasing the likes of WandaVision or The Mandalorian or any of that crap on the Disney Channel, for argument's sake. So why can't they just release the fucking thing in a block? And it's like Dennis said, it's to falsify the economy that you get your month free. You watch the first 4 episodes, then you have to make a decision whether you're going to pay however much it is for the month or pay for the year. If you pay for the year, you're not going to cancel it. If you're paying for the month, you have to pay for 2 months, so you've already paid for half the year. So again, that's the thing, and it's the same with Netflix. You can get now. I don't think you can get a free trial with Netflix anymore, but you have to pay for the bare minimum is like £7 a month or $7.99. So if you want to watch something that goes over 3 months, you have 21, 23, 24 euros spent before you have the thing watched. And then you have to turn around and decide if you cancel it. And how many people are actually going to set a reminder in their calendar or their phone or whatever to cancel the service after they've watched, because you're going to see something else. Does everyone follow what I mean?
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with Disney for me, is there's no discoverability. Like if I watch if I even boot up the app, it's to watch something that we've all been talking about. Like there's nothing ever catches my eye to watch the next thing. Like whereas with Netflix, like you'll finish one Scandinavian war drama and you'll get a selection of another 20, you know, and like each one is probably fairly high quality, to be fair. Whereas like even like I've 2 kids now, 10 and 6, like, and they've exhausted Disney Plus. Like they've watched what they want to watch. Like I see in their recommendations, like they're only getting watch it agains now at this stage. Like they're gone beyond the princesses stuff. Like, but they've watched what's her name, Zendaya. Is that she's Mary Jane in the new Spider-Man films.
Yeah.
She has a series where she's a spy, and they're mad for that now. Like they've kind of moved to that. But even then, the pre-teen stuff, like there's only so much of it they'll get into. Like, you know, it's not. There's more sources. There's more discoverability on other stuff.
I think the real crux of it is that Disney Plus's back catalog isn't large enough, and their forward catalog at the moment is not really. It's not setting the world on fire, because we'll say now, for argument's sake, WandaVision finishes. When does Winter Soldier start? I
think it finishes shortly, or starts shortly after. That's due to start in March, isn't it?
Right, and that's going to be another probably 8 or 10 weeks. And then what's after that?
A series an episode every week for the rest of the year.
So that's it. So basically, essentially what we're going to be doing is paying £70 to watch one thing a week for the rest of the year. Now, that in itself isn't terrible value, but you have to look at it on the scale of economy that it in some respects tpb.org or you know, whatever is free, and Plex is also free, and you know,
and like there's certainly an argument. I know there's the fear of missing out and being part of the conversation, but at the end of the day, there's nothing to stop you getting a month twice a year, because these aren't long episodes. Like these are like WandaVision is 28 to 38 minutes long. Mandalorian was the same. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, there's probably 4 hours solid content in a lot of these.
Yeah, I tried watching WandaVision. Don't worry, I enjoyed the first episode and went, alright, I'm not going to watch anymore. So short. I want to watch it all at once. It's just like you just start getting into it, you're kind of going, okay, what? And it's the Mandalorian did the same thing. Don't get me wrong, the Mandalorian was a very good season. But it almost felt like it was when the episode ended, it ended just, it was hitting that part where it's going to be an amazing episode. And I just went, oh, okay. Now, season 2 extended the episodes a bit. It was almost like Disney went, right, here's a budget. You have to make it short episodes. Well, or stretch it as far as you can, and they go, okay, people did watch that. We'll give you a bit more budget the next season, which I guess that's how TV shows work. But it just turned out like a show that, The Mandalorian, a show that would have been on TV would have had 40 minutes of actual stuff happening, had 20 odd minutes, And don't get me wrong, they were good 20 minutes, but it doesn't give you a lot of room. People complain about filler, but sometimes filler's got a bad name. Filler's stuff that adds in your back. It actually is filling in the backstory, fills in stuff in the back. It's stuff that actually makes the universe a little bit better. And sometimes filler episodes of Star Trek turn out to be the best ones you go back to and go, I totally forgot how good this episode was. And it literally was just a boardroom meeting where they're all sitting around talking about how to get out of a trap. It's just that sort of thing.
People say like we're in a golden age of television at the moment because like they leave stories breathe, and you've got it's long form storytelling to leave this go. Whereas the Disney shows, for the moment, to me, they're like movies that got chopped up in many ways. Like you've no filler. You're moving kind of set piece scene to set piece scene with minimal breathing time in between. So it's not. They're very good, but they're not quite what I'm looking for. Like.
Which is funny. It's kind of like, and that's kind of the reverse of the Rogue One. Don't be wrong. Loved the movie, but it was almost like small TV shows put sellotape together into a movie. It's almost like a small season sellotape to that one movie, which is still a very good movie.
Yeah, Rogue One is a great movie.
By the time the next one of these rolls around, I think we'll all have a lot to say about WandaVision. I have stuff to say about it now.
Yeah.
After episode 4.
Yeah, we watched it last night, and Mrs. Ferrigan was not too enamored with the first 2 episodes, whereas I was kind of intrigued. After the latest episode, she's all in now.
Yeah.
We'll probably get to it, Mrs. Fox or myself, tomorrow. Just time constraints this past week have led to not being able to finish it out, but we will. Or not finish it out, but get to the point of being up to date. But we will. And
from what I heard, there's some really good. Nobody spoiled it for me, but from what I've heard is that there's some very recurring characters from the movies actually appear.
Yeah.
So that's all I've heard, and I don't want any more to be here. But that to me kind of gets me excited. So I'm looking forward to, because that's the amazing thing that Disney has at their hand, in front of them on the table. They can play with all of their franchises. Pull them in from the movies. They got the money to do all of this stuff. Hell, they even brought in Mark Hamill into The Mandalorian. It's like they can do anything. I'm sorry. If you haven't watched it, tough. You should get off your horse and watch it. It's finished. No excuse.
The funny thing is, I think that's where the Marvel universe works better than Star Wars. In that, like, I remember watching the old Spider-Man cartoon there, and next thing the Punisher would show up, and it was like, holy shit, the Punisher is in this, like. But like, whereas with Star Wars, here's Luke Skywalker in everything again, whereas Marvel is much better cross-platform, I suppose, or cross appearances. They have a long history of that.
Yeah, I think Star Wars just have the movies, really, to be honest with you, and some of the TV shows, but they're more recent. But as I agree with you 100%. Like when you got Marvel comics out the wazoo, like you've got. Like Moon Knight, the most random of heroes. He's probably going to get his own TV show now or a movie. But Moon Knight,
to his moon base.
Cannot wait for Moon Knight. Now, I was going to say, when we're talking about Star Wars characters, does everyone remember our resident addition to Star Wars? Mr. Donald Gleason was a very hammy villain, General Hux. Great actor. Is everyone up to date on Black Mirror?
No,
not at all.
Right.
Episode 2 of season 1.
there was an episode which Donald
Was that
Gleason
not the
was
pig
in.
episode? Huh?
That was. I kind of went. I'm not sure if I want to watch anymore.
So there was an episode in Black Mirror, which Donald Gleason starred opposite Haley Atwell. Where his character, something happened to him, he died.
Oh, I've seen that episode.
He was brought back as a bot, basically, that she could talk to. And it just so happens Microsoft, in their wisdom, have filed a patent to create a chatbot that imitates dead people. So Yeah, life imitating art in this one, or possibly
That's
down the road imitating
So
art.
Look, if
kind
I
of how it always goes, though.
it's going to be like Superman, where he goes to the Fortress
he
of
goes to the
Solitude
Fortress of Solitude, exactly.
and talks to his dead father.
Yeah. What's his name?
There's-
Jarrell. He goes and talks to
Jarrell,
Jarrell.
yeah.
Yeah.
To be
Jarrell,
honest.
play System of a Down on Spotify.
But to be honest with you, life is always imitated sci-fi in general. It's like stuff that's been in
Yeah.
sci-fi. People who become sci-fi fans end up wanting to make that.
Well,
You know, there's
you go
communicators become mobile phones. You know, it's just all these
back to, let's
things.
go.
you know,
Let's
it's
go
just-
back further than that. What 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Nobody had ever thought of a submarine before Jules Verne really wrote about it. Well, I suppose you could say Leonardo da Vinci had, but
Yeah,
Jules Verne wrote
When-
about it, and all of a sudden we're creating metal bubbles that we can dive down to the bottom of the ocean on. You know,
mm-hmm.
it's.
Yeah.
I look at the state of I'm a big sci-fi fan, and I look at the state of sci-fi over the last say 30, 40 years, and I can see us as a race reaching the stars eventually if we can sort ourselves out, and go on other planets. Of course, Elon Musk wants to go to Mars. Let's freaking do that. Like, you know.
Let's get that man home.
What I think is mad is in the space of like when did Minority Report come out? Like
That was it was written in the
Or
it was
something.
written in the 60s.
Oh well,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kate Dick
Okay.
story.
but like you had the auto driving cars, you had the facial scanning advertising targeting.
Yeah. Well,
all
that
that
was
kind of
that
stuff
was
in it.
written by Philip K. Dick.
Yeah,
And if you
Basic-
want to look at any movies that are based on his work, what's the one with Schwarzenegger?
I Robot. Oh,
Total Recall.
Total Recall, which is We Can Remember It For You Wholesale.
Mm-hmm.
Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. The book
Scanner
is so
Darkly.
different.
Scanner
than Blade Runner,
Darkly.
Yeah. A Scanner
he did-
Darkly, yeah.
Oh, Scanner Darkly. Yeah.
Which is,
Wow.
do you want to know something? I have that on DVD and I have never watched it.
I would watch it. I think it's a great movie.
Yeah, I'll go back and read the book often, but I've never watched it. Yeah, life imitating art. Look, if this is the way I get to live forever, so be it. Yeah, I will happily.
Can you imagine Grumpy Bros 3020? The Grumpy Bros show 1,000
it's
years
just-
from now, we're all meeting up.
Man, that would be amazing.
So how are things? Well, I was just living off Phobos there. It was really interesting.
Just bots of us stuck into drones, scooting around the cosmos, a la Ian Banks' Culture or Neil Asher's
honest-
Polity Universe. I'm down for that. Yeah, stick me in
That's
a
it.
Singularity.
Stuck into forever war.
the
It's like
singularity. Yeah, has it happened yet? Do you think? Is there a quiet war taking place that we don't know about?
Possibly.
Are the machines
Not
taking
quite
over?
Or what turns out to be that Earth is actually a prison planet and we were all sent here long times ago. And there's a reason why we haven't heard from other alien races yet, is because they don't want to talk to us because we fucked up the universe a few thousand years ago, and now we're here.
What the fuck are you two nerds talking about?
Ferrigan, you're asking about is there a quiet war for like robots taking over? And I know you're being facetious, but there's actually a Senate committee that's going on in the states at the where I think one of the senators in charge has officially said that they have a moral imperative to explore the option of making like killer robots that are autonomous.
Yeah.
Like not just drones that are piloted, but autonomous.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Look at the stuff.
America.
Look at the stuff Boston Scientific are making. Like those dog drones.
Oh yeah.
Just look at that shit, man. We're nearly there. We're not far off it. Like
But yeah, well,
just
there's a reason
out
why
of
every time I
interest,
place.
out of interest, anybody watch TV?
How many years are we away from Skynet?
Did anybody
That's
did anybody here watch the greatest TV show ever made called
The Expanse?
Person of Interest?
Tiger King.
person of interest. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh god, yeah, Jesus, that was brilliant.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was
All
quite-
5 seasons twice.
Same, yeah. I've watched it. I think 2 or 3 times now. that was an amazing show based upon
Mhm.
the fact that you could interlink PlayStation 3s together and run a artificial intelligence off them. Sorry,
Made by
spoilers if anybody's not watched up to season 4. But,
That, of course, is assuming that they could stay connected to the PlayStation Network for long enough.
Oh, they have to make their own network. That's how they made that reality.
That's fired.
But yeah, it was made by the best of the Nolans.
True.
But the thing is, it was such
Colleen.
a cool.
Colleen
exactly. Colleen Nolan, what a woman. They started so slow, very interesting, but slow concept, but slow, and then just by the end of season 5, you're going, that was amazing, and the ending still has me in.
Yeah. I now want to go back and watch it all again.
Mhm.
I'll have to.
I have my favorite one. Sorry, just one last thing there first. What's her name? Character Root. You know her from the bookkeeper in Angel.
Oh yeah.
She's in it. She plays this psychotic woman so well. Though.
It's
Brilliant in it.
brilliant. Yeah.
Oh, she's just perfect.
Can't think of her name.
But she's really good in it, I know.
Yeah.
My man is in it from Lost as well, I think.
Yeah.
Ben.
Oh, Ben Linus.
Ben Linus.
Finch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good
Is
show.
Finch? No, Finch is in Scorpion.
No,
No, that's the name of the character in
is-
person.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Okay.
Mr. Finch.
Finch is in Scorpion. Finch
What's
from
his real
American
name again? Michael something, I think. Or
I'm not sure you actually ever find out his real name.
no, I meant
Oh,
the
you mean
actor.
his the
character's
cat?
name, or
Yeah.
the actor's name. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Anyway,
doesn't
we can Google that later
Anyway,
because.
yeah.
In other exciting news, a big global conglomerate, Amazon, look more and more likely that they're going to have an Irish fulfillment center, which is good news for us and bad news for small business, apparently, if you're to believe Twitter.
Yeah, well,
Honestly, I can. That's good because I'm feeling very unfulfilled here. But at the same time, it's like small businesses, they're all closed anyway.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know, to be
Some
honest,
way looking at you.
I mean, if they were fully opening and operational at the moment, and it looked like they're going to be fully open and operational for the next year or two, then yeah, I could understand it. But at this stage, it's like people need it. I'm sorry, they do. And if I can't, I always try to buy local, but I can't.
I'm going to
Yeah,
be
small retail
probably-
is having a hard time. We should probably start shorting GameStop stocks.
I'm just going to be probably accused of being a dick here, right? But if I was in a position, if there was somewhere selling PC case locally here, right? And I went in, and that PC case is going to cost me €80, and I can go on Amazon and I can buy the thing for €60, delivered to my door in 2 days. What am I going to do? You know, I'm not going to shop locally because I'm cheap. We're all fucking cheap.
Well, no,
We all want to buy
Exactly.
shit cheaper. That's the whole point of fucking Amazon. I'm sorry now, but
well,
I'm all for supporting local business in a lot of ways, like work in a local business. But a lot of the times, the shit that I want to buy is far, far cheaper and just as easy to get from Amazon. All I have
if
to do
not
is
easier
wait
to
up
get
there.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And the flip side to that is if you were to walk into Curry's PC World, say in Cork or wherever, and there's a PC case for 70 quid, but you could buy it from Curry's.ie for 50,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? As opposed to not off the shelf and wait.
Yeah.
I'd be more inclined to do it then, like, definitely.
yeah. See, the thing is, if the local business has it and it's not that much more expensive, I'll be happy to pay that money and get it that. But if it's a lot more money, what's my bonus? My bonus is the local business stays here. Fair enough, the local area employs a few more people locally, and that is good long term. But for me as a consumer, it's
But then you're looking at the price and saying, are they ripping me off? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
then
if it's not within sort of €5 to €10 of the Amazon price, I'm looking at going, why are they charging me so much? It's not tax. It surely can't be like, you know, wages or rates or whatever. Why are they charging me so much? But then I
Well,
suppose
A
you know,
certain percentage of it will be the overheads that they
Yeah.
obviously have to pay for the rates, the wages, the electricity, all that jazz. But when it's 15-20%, sometimes even 30 and 40% higher than the price on Amazon, you really have to be looking at it and saying, like, look, lads, I appreciate you have the business to run and all that, but I'm also in the position of not wanting to lose money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a fine line to be met. Like, small business perhaps needs to come back further in line with where Amazon is before that argument can really hold up. And again, I say that as somebody employed in a local business.
And the thing is that what we consider local business now has changed. Like, as you mentioned PC World and stuff like that. They're all English companies basically, who for decades have been ripping off the Irish by, from pounds to euros or whatever. They always give you that little bit of the Irish tax.
Yeah.
And so
the paddy tax.
To be honest, the paddy tax, I think, is what a lot of them actually refer to it as a joke.
Yeah.
But we've been paying that for decades, and now we get a chance to get it cheaper from somewhere else. And they're like, "Oh, but you got to shop local." I was like, "Well,
Here,
for the last
let's
30
not forget also that people can sell their stuff on Amazon, through Amazon. If there's a fulfillment center here, what's to stop small Irish
Local
businesses selling through Amazon as well? It's just another storefront for them. Now I don't know what kind of work and effort would need to be put in to do that, but I'm assuming not much. I don't know how much Amazon would take from them. I don't know if it would be worth their while, but there's plenty of businesses in the UK do it, so
There's plenty of very, very small businesses in the UK. Like, just case in point, the little 3D printed controllers or controller stands that I bought.
Yeah.
They're only like £4 or £5. These guys have a storefront on Amazon. So I mean, like, if they can do it, then Jones's fucking garden center, surely can do it. Like,
Yeah. To be honest, it's a case of change with the times, or
exactly.
yeah.
It's horses for courses too. Like generally, like, you're not going to buy things like microwaves and stuff like that from Amazon or fridges. Like, you buy them local, because if there is something wrong with them, you'll take them back. Like,
Yeah.
But like, if I buy something like, I don't know, a phone case, right, and it's the wrong size, like, I'll have more of a comeback to Amazon, who'll probably send me out a replacement instantly without any hassle, rather than having to go down to some counter and argue with some fella behind the counter about giving me a replacement and all this kind of stuff. Like,
if you open it, you fit it, it's wrong, Amazon will take it back. You go down to John below in Vodafone, and, well, that's open, I can't take it back. No. That's not how it works. It's just, like, the thing about it is, right, and I appreciate the fact that, especially the last 12 months, there are a lot of businesses, unfortunately, that are probably really hammered towards the breadline now, and they're going to struggle, and my heart does go out to them, and I have a lot of empathy for it. But at the end of the day, I'm also a consumer. My main goal when I'm buying something is to buy it as cheaply and efficiently as possible. There's no two ways about it. Did anybody here who built their PC in the last 12 months, did anybody buy any more than 5 to 10% of it locally?
The only thing
by
I
locally,
bought,
we're saying in Ireland, is it?
the only
Well, no,
thing you could, the only thing I bought that would get away with saying I bought locally would be my power supply, and I bought that online through Curry's or PC World.
Yeah, your USB.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Happy
bought
birthday
that,
to me.
actually.
Thank you very much. That was a birthday present.
So that the mouse. No, sorry, the keyboard. And
I bought my
that's it.
monitor in Argos, actually, on a deal.
Yeah, no, the keyboard is the only thing that I have bought locally.
I bought the keyboard in GameStop as well, luckily.
Keyboard and joypad. That's it.
If I and just to go back and say, if I had gone to try and source these parts in Ireland,
I got my Razer
Oh,
controller and my
totally.
Stream Deck on adverts. Does that count?
I'll allow it. I'll allow it. You're helping local business in a way. How much higher do you think the cost would have been, say now for argument's sake, Dan and Stone down in Cork, if you had gone to PC Maestro inside in Cork City.
PC
much
Maestro?
higher? Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
How much
Yeah,
higher do you think the cost would have been to build your PC?
I'd say 600 quid, easy.
It would have been cheaper for me to hire a development team than build the stuff from scratch, I think,
Yeah.
than to actually
you
buy
go.
locally. So
That's the point that I'm trying to make. With all due respect to local business, I understand there's overheads. Overheads don't have to cost 40% on every item. And I understand margins and things like that because I deal with that stuff every day. Every day of the week, I'm dealing with margins and, you know, pricing and all that jazz. So I understand how it works. There is a certain percentage of a sale that you need to take. You don't need to fleece people. And local business, in some aspects, especially when it comes to electronics, you can buy it a lot of the times 30, 40, even sometimes 50% cheaper from Amazon. So to bring it back around, Amazon having a fulfillment center in Ireland, if I can go to amazon.ie and buy a controller for 30 quid, or go down to Tesco and buy the same controller for 60 quid, what am I going to do?
Yep. Well, depends how quickly you want it in your hand. But saying that, honestly, if there's a fulfillment center up at Baldonnel and I'm buying from Amazon, it's going to be in my hands the next morning.
I think if there's a fulfillment center in Baldonnel and you're buying, it'll be, and you order at 9 o'clock.
If I order it in the morning, it'll be in my hands by 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. Anyway, that's Amazon fulfillment center and small business taken care of. We'll see what comes of it. One last thing to talk about, very briefly, because I know some of the grumpies are anxious to get this done.
We're getting close to time now.
Of a Down, you know, acting completely unlike the Gallaghers, setting their differences aside and coming together to perform for charity. Now, I'm not the world's biggest System of a Down fan, so you two fuckers, take it away.
Well, no, we'll just hurry up because it's on in half an hour. So
there you go. Just tell people where it is, and then we're done.
It's on their official YouTube channel, as far as I know.
Yeah, it's on their official YouTube channel, and I'm assuming it'll be up. It's on live in about 35 minutes. And I'm assuming it'll be there to watch afterwards. I'm actually really looking forward to it.
Is anybody going to order some Chinese to have with it? Maybe a little bit of chop suey?
Yes, there's going to be chop suey involved.
I'll be eating seeds as a pastime activity.
Nice.
BYOB, I think.
Indeed.
Right, gentlemen, I'm not going to hold you from watching this. Give you a chance to have a little break before you sit down again and watch more stuff. So, with that in mind, January, always a funny time of year. So, you know, thanks to everybody again for watching. If you made it this far, fair play to you, because Christ, this was long. So, with that said, we'll be back February with some new stuff.
Next month.
Yes, next month.
In between, there should be a first-person shoot. Hopefully.
Yeah. No, there definitely will. We put a little bit of a hiatus on it for January just because of various issues with correlation between work times and, you know, a little bit of just, you know, January blues, I think. So
and there might be an Average Bro show if we can all get together.
There will definitely be an Average Bro show in Q1. We have put a marker on that. That's going to be done. With that said, again, thank you very much for your support. And it's a goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Arrivederci. Ciao. Bye. So long.
Have a good time.